Hey guys, Seal My House bidding you welcome to another video. Catherine is my camera woman and she is giggling. She is. And she may have the hiccups still. She's having fun. We're going to do a PlayStation 3 collection video. My collection is just about complete. I was kind of thinking about it while I was at work and I cannot think of any PlayStation 3 game that I don't yet have. And I figured to go through the collection, it may jog my memory into stuff that I don't have and I'm still looking for. But it's also a good way to show you my collection, which I have not shown you in 2 years, and it's been a long, long journey since then. I've been overseas since the time that I filmed this. Like some of these games are from the UK even, and I got them in person. Okay, so let's get in close. To start off the video, I'll show the console and the controllers. I have 5 PlayStation 3 controllers, 1 red one, and 4 regular editions. They need a bit of a dusting. Some of them don't get much use. I have 5 just in case a few of them break. And that does happen, you know, this stuff is getting a bit older now, so it is likely to break at some point, just from regular use. I also have 2 PlayStation 3s here. This one is the original backwards compatible model. It's got all of the stuff in there. You can tell it's a backwards compatible one because it has 4 USB plug-in points. Also, the hard drive size is like 60 gigabytes, which I think this was the only one that had it, the backwards compatible one. I also have a spare down here. Like I showed you guys this one when I got it. It was like 30 bucks, came with the controller. And those are my 2 systems. I have this one prepped up on caps, just so like underneath there's a bit more room for it to breathe a bit, because it's in a pretty open space, but these old ones are prone to overheating. Try and film like the top bit. So I'll show you some of like the special edition stuff. My wife made a shrine to Spyro. She likes Spyro. So I guess the first game we have here is Spyro Dawn of the Dragon. I finished this game all the way through. It's very good. Pretty rare these days to find. It's pretty expensive too. So we have... someone's watering the plants. This iPad includes the mouse. As you can see from the dust on the top, I've not used it. Yeah, I think it was like $5 brand new when I bought it, so I was like, why not? It just fell. We have this Far Cry 2 pack. I'm not sure exactly too much about this, but it was supposed to come with a t-shirt as well, but it didn't. I just thought it was kind of cool. It has like art book, general kind of collector's edition stuff. I think it was like $7 when I bought it, which was a pretty good price. Not really a special edition, but I keep it up here. It's a Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 in a limited edition steel case. It's kind of nice. It's a good game. All of these sniper games are, like Sniper Elite and all of that. Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. I've had this for ages. I'd love to get a better copy, but for now this is alright. Killer is Dead. I remember buying this game almost brand new, I think, for $50. It came in this special edition, but it didn't have the wrap around it. It's supposed to come with an extra thing, but it comes with the game, which is pretty good. It's okay. And like art book, soundtrack, all of that kind of junk. You know, a lot of these special editions, they are just junky. It's like, all you really need is the game, but if I find them on the cheap, I think I paid like $10 for this copy because I sold the brand new copy when it was new. That's Catherine's. Eep. These are also Catherine's. Move the Spyro stuff out of the way. We have the Demon Souls Black Phantom Edition. I like all of the Souls games, even if they are covered in dust.
Because you never play them.
I have played them though. It's like, you play them once or twice, what do you need to play them again for? This is a pretty Cool set actually. It comes with like soundtrack, book, all. It comes with the junk that every collector's edition comes with, but it's from a game that I actually really, really like. So I wanted to get that for my collection. I don't know how much I paid for it, but I think it was like $19, which isn't bad. Like $19 for the regular game is really good. Dark Souls Limited Edition. What does this come with? Art book, soundtrack. Yep, sure does. I like Dark Souls. It's a very good game series. Prince of Persia, this one has a big layer of dust. Wow. I didn't realize how dusty some of these were. I should have dusted them before I started. This Prince of Persia, I think I paid like $4 for this one. It was in a computer exchange. It was the same price as a regular edition, so I thought, I'll just grab it. It's cheap. Come on, babe. Let's keep our composure.
I can't. It's too funny.
This Far Cry 3. This I got from a, what was it? A book fest one year. You probably saw it in the video. Yeah, it was $6. It's got the game, it's got the junk. The cool thing about this one is it comes with a nylon bag. Film, babe, film! We gotta film
I'm
it.
trying to.
It has like a little survival guide with actual tips on how to survive in the wild. Like, these are actually like real tips, like how to use the sun as a compass. Signaling. You need to do Morse code. Ow! None of this stuff will be collectible once I'm done showing it. It'll all be ruined.
Can you move that spiral figurine?
Why?
It's looking.
It's looking at you.
Yeah. No, that one, the one below it. Please.
Film it.
I can't.
Okay.
Just put it on the sofa or something.
Everything's falling. We're spiraling. This is a collector's edition's case for Alien Isolation. So, great game. I got the collector's edition case because I pre-ordered it. Let's move this stuff. There's the Catherines, try not to wreck them. Child of Light Deluxe Edition. This actually doesn't come with the game, it's just a download code. It's kind of crummy. But I have the game on a cartridge via the PlayStation Vita, so this was just a cool little collectible thing that I wanted. I think it was like $20 or something. Got it on clearance. Black Ops Hardened Edition. I don't really care about the Call of Duty games that much, but it was cheap. Murdered Soul Suspect Limited Edition. I really liked this game. It apparently sold really poorly, but it is a very fun game. It's pretty different. You're a ghost and you solve mysteries. You're trying to solve the mystery of your own death.
Oh, I might give that one a go.
Yeah, for sure. Grand Theft Auto 5 Special Edition. I did finish Grand Theft Auto 5, but I couldn't really tell you anything about the game other than it's just another Grand Theft Auto game. I know there's 3 characters, Trevor, Franklin, and whoever the third one is.
Michael.
Yeah, Michael. I just wasn't really paying attention while I was playing. I would skip cutscenes and stuff. I was just having fun while I was playing it. Not paying attention to the story. Paying attention to the story in this one though. Deus Ex Human Revolution Augmented Edition. I think this was like $12 when I bought it. This is a cool set. Love this game. Played it for the first time either last year or the year before. I really enjoyed it. I need to sit down and play the older Deus Ex games, but they're a bit difficult to get into. Alright, cut.
3.
Okay, so here's the main bulk of my collection. There is another shelf, and there's a lot to go through, so we are going to be here for a while. You guys want to get comfortable, or click out of the video now, it's your choice. First up, because it's on the shelf, it's me and my wife holding a koala. And the nails were digging into her back, her shoulders. You don't have to get that close.
It's cute.
alphabetized my PlayStation 3 games a long time ago, but that was 2 years ago, and I have so much more since then. Like, when I alphabetized this stuff, that was the first time I went through and really went, okay, this is what I have, this is what I need. Now, it's still alphabetized mostly, but there is overflow from where I just cannot fit stuff in. So, we'll start with the overflow. I don't know what that is.
Spare case.
Yeah, spare case. I don't remember when I got. Did you send me that maybe? Okay. That answers that. So Assassin's Creed. I got into a few of the Assassin's Creed games. You can get a bit closer.
You were going out of frame.
No, but when I'm showing a game, you want to see the game.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed. It's okay, babe. It's not a professional production.
What? I didn't even say it was.
It's just for a stupid YouTube video. Battlefield Bad Company 2, the Ultimate Edition. I bought this because it comes with Battlefield 1943. I mean, come on. The best one. Farming Sim. Never played it. Probably never will. Skate 2. Worth a decent amount actually. It's like a $25, $30 game. I'm really not sure why, because these games sold really well, but yeah, that's something. I have a few WWE games just because I follow wrestling and I like to play the games. We have WWE 12. This is a special edition that comes with The Rock. Which I don't know why you wouldn't put him in the main game, because he's like the one that everyone knows, so maybe that makes sense. You make people pay more to get him. He's the only person that people want to play as. Journey Collector's Edition. My wife really likes these games. Especially Flower. Thought it was very sweet. I made her sit down and play all the way through Journey with me. It was a fun experience. I don't think this one is very expensive, but it's definitely worth your time to get a copy of it. That was one I bought brand new when it was $50. That was the first time you could get Journey actually on a disc. Angry Birds Star Wars. It's fun. Cute little puzzle game. Pretty sure it's free on your phone. Medal of Honor Airborne. This game is insanely hard. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I try to play this game. I get a couple levels in and the game just kicks my ass. It's mission by mission, and it's like each mission is really, really difficult. You free fall into a battle zone and you just have to try and survive. Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. There was a lot of controversy when this game was released because you had to pay almost full game price for a like preview of a main game. Like, this should have been released as a 2-hour free demo, but they released it with a price tag. I think it was like $50 brand new, which is ridiculous. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. This was the full game that the demo was based on. Day 1 edition, which means nothing. You get crummy DLC content that no one really uses at all. I tried to get into this one. Story is cool. I don't dig the gameplay. Like, open world games, they can be fun, but when it's just all, like, boring missions, I don't like it. I preferred the focused approach to the original Metal Gear Solid games. Farming Simulator 15. It's probably another farming sim, but I don't have it. Lord of the Rings Conquest. If you're looking for a game like Battle for Middle-earth, but you don't want to pay the crazy price tags that game demands, get Lord of the Rings Conquest. You can get this for like $15. It's a really good game too. I've got a few One Piece games. One Piece Pirate Warriors 1 and 2. I couldn't tell you the difference between them. You know, I got these for $5 each, and in the collection they've remained. Not really into One Piece. I know the general story. The guy that eats the fruit and he gets like stretchy arms, but other than that, I don't know. The Borderlands games, this is Borderlands the pre-sequel. They're good. I don't like them as much as other people, but I do think they are good. They're fun. Bit more of the overflow before we get to the first little bit. Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever. I really like this game. It's stupid, it's very short. You know, if you've got 4 hours to spare in your life, just give it a go. You probably will be disappointed, but it'll be four hours and $4 out of your life. Call of Duty World at War, it's okay. You play with fire in this one. I think this is a Vietnam one. No, Final Days of World War II. I don't think Call of Duty ever went to Vietnam. Call of Duty 3? Not too sure of this one. I might have played this on PS2. Like, all of these World War II first-person shooters, they all kind of meld together for me. Thief? It should probably be in the collector's edition cases, because they're cool. Bonus metal tin. Decent game. Not as good as Thief 2 The Dark Project, but, I mean, nothing is. It's very mainline. Like, they tried to mainstream it too much, and you alienate old fans and you failed to bring in new fans, so you got nothing. A game that I played all the way through and I actually had a lot of fun with, The Penguins of Madagascar, Dr. Blowhole Returns Again. This is like a puzzle platformer, it's stupid fun. We should play it.
Is it 2 players?
1 player.
Aww.
Darn. But I can help you through like some of the puzzles.
Okay.
Some of them are
play.
actually pretty challenging. Like, if you've got 3 hours to spare, it's worth a play. It's like, it's a really silly game.
Maybe on one of the weekends when we get that, when we get a TV.
Back in high school, I remember my science teacher quoting this show all the time. He especially loved Kowalski, because I think Kowalski was the one that, like, he couldn't talk, but if you smacked his gut, he would like spit up a weapon. So Kowalski damage report, and someone would smack his gut and he'd spew up a bomb. Like, no, not right now. He just swallowed it back down.
Yeah, that's that one on the right of the case.
Yeah, it's really
I
funny.
think.
Alright, let's get in close.
Might be the left.
So I'll have the first little shelf here. I'll remove the random stuff that's on it. We'll get close. We gotta be able to see the games. So I'll move a little bit so that we can... No, not that stuff. So we can properly see. So 007, Quantum of Solace. If you have anything to say about any of these games, Dave, feel free to just chime in.
I never had a PS3.
No.
No.
3D Dot Game Heroes.
A Wii.
That's fine. I've got Wii's as well. Lots of Wii games. 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is a really good game. I never got into it. I understand it's very hard to find. You're just shaking, babe. A little bit back. You've got to get all of the game in frame.
Sorry.
It's okay. The Atelier series. I've got a couple more, but I don't know where they are. This one's rated R for no real proper reason. Like, what makes this one R rated for sexualized imagery, but this one's only M for sexualized imagery, you know? They're okay. You mix a lot of potions in this one. It's pretty full on. Asura's Wrath. It's a shame they never made a sequel to this game. I understand it sold pretty well and they just never did anything with it, which sucks because it's a really good game. You know, it's a Dragon Ball Z game without Dragon Ball Z characters, and it's better than any Dragon Ball Z game. You play as this dude betrayed by the gods, and he's like hunting them all down. The gameplay's a bit weird. You just button mash and then do quick time events, but it's fun in its own way. Ape Escape. This was a move game. It was very disappointing. If you have the move, it's okay, but I don't know. It's not the Ape Escape that people were wanting, and it kind of killed the franchise. Yeah, we didn't get any Ape Escapes on PS4. There are 3 Adventure Time games on PS3. I have all 3. The third one is on another shelf. Adventure Time, The Secret of the Nameless Kingdom, and Adventure Time, Explore the Dungeon, because I don't know. These games are very similar. They're retro-style action RPGs. This one's a lot more like Legend of Zelda. And this one's a lot more like a dungeon crawler type game. It is good though, both of them are good. I don't think my wife has ever seen Adventure Time.
I've seen it once.
No.
I didn't really like it.
No?
No.
That's alright. Not everything is for everybody. The incredible amount of Assassin's Creed games on this system. Assassin's Creed Revelations, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Assassin's Creed 3, this game sucks. Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, I got this in the UK for like £2. Another copy of Assassin's Creed 2 for some reason. And this Assassin's Creed Birth of a New World, the American Saga, which has 3, Liberation, and 4 on it. I knew I had 4 somewhere. There you go, it's all on the one disc. You can play Assassin's Creed 4 here. And Liberation, which is a very good game. Originally a PlayStation Vita exclusive. I played a few of the Assassin's Creed games. What, my love?
Go to the toilet.
Okay. You can go to the toilet, I'll continue filming. Ages of Earth. This is a tower defense game. It's pretty good. Very cheap to get. It's pretty fun though. Late release for the PS3. Alice Madness Returns. Good game. You know, it's a bit dated now, but for the time when it came out, it was pretty good. It's pretty rare. It's pretty expensive, actually. Yeah. The original on PC is also pretty expensive. They are good games, though. They're kind of generic in gameplay. They get very boring. But the story is interesting. It's like a crazy woman who continues to enter Wonderland, even though the world around her is falling apart. Record of Agarist War 0 and Record of Agarist War Generation of War. Never played these ones. Not sure what they're like. A lot of time to play them, though. Apache Air Assault. Good game. Very action-paced. Action-packed, fast-paced. We have the 2 Army of 2 games. It's a shame these did not get, more games in their series. Just the 2 games, unfortunately, but they are very fun. Very good co-op games. Very fun third-person shooters. That's something that's kind of gone by the wayward. Just good third-person shooters. You don't get those a whole lot these days. Anarchy Reigns, limited edition. Not sure what's limited about it. Good game. It's very limited though. Yeah, it's the reason why this game didn't get massive praise, but it is good. It's a lot like Mad World on the Wii, except with color in that. Alpha Protocol. Apparently this has a bit of a cult following now. I never liked it that much, but I do recognize that it is something that people like. I don't think people liked it when it came out, though. Ace Combat Assault Horizon. This is the edition that comes with a soundtrack. It's pretty cool. Good game. From my understanding, people who like Ace Combat don't like this game, but people who don't really care for Ace Combat generally like this game. I liked it. I thought it was very fun. It's kind of hard to do air combat in a very fun way and make it intuitive, but this one does do it. Afro Samurai. I remember when this was like the biggest thing in year 7, I think, 2007? 2009, really? Didn't feel like 2009. I remember there was a point in school where everyone was talking about Afro Samurai. We had all watched it, we loved it, and we were eagerly awaiting the sequel. But none of us ever bought the game. Apparently it's not very good. I've played it a little bit. It's like a generic third-person, like, hack and slash. Armored Core 4 answer. There are so many Armored Core games. I've not played any of them, to be honest. They're alright, to my knowledge. Africa. Apparently a very rare game. I remember when the PlayStation 3 was first coming out, this was one of the games you would see in the stores as a display kind of game of, hey, look at this PlayStation 3, look at the amazing graphics, and for some reason they chose Africa. But it's by Natsume. Co-made by National Geographic, or maybe funded by them. It's just a safari game. You go around and you take photos of animals. It's interesting. There's not many games like it. I guess Aquanaut's Holiday is a game similar to it, but it's kind of weird. Very rare though. You don't see copies of this a whole lot. Which means that I have 2 copies. Where's my other one? Bam! Hakuna Matata. I have the Japanese copy for some reason. The 2 Alien games. You have Alien Colonial Marines, which I do like. It is very bad though. It's a just the first person shooter. The alien AI is very bad. I've seen a video online where they've tweaked the AI to make the aliens really difficult, and it makes you wonder why they didn't go with that build of the game over what they went with. But Alien Isolation, this was one of the first instances where I bought a game brand new, really liked it. It sold incredibly well, everyone loved it, and then you just never heard about it again. From my knowledge, this sold very well, like over 2 million copies, but didn't make a massive profit for Sega, so they just didn't make another game, and we haven't had an Alien game since. I would love to get this on PS4. When I get a PS5, I will be getting PS4 games, but just for now, no. I have to wait until they get real cheap. I'm talking $5 cheap. But Alien Isolation, very good game, very scary. It does a great job of making the alien feel invincible. That's what I like. That's why I like the first Alien movie the most. Alone in the Dark Inferno, trash. Killed the franchise before the next game killed the franchise, and there's not been much talk about Alone in the Dark since. It does do a lot of weird stuff though. Like, it's worth playing just to see the weird things it does. Like, you can control a fire extinguisher in this game. Like, how many games can you control a fire extinguisher, you know? This game is brand new. I probably won't ever open it. The Awakened Fate Ultimatum, brand new. I think I paid like $20 or $30 for it brand new, and I thought, yeah, I'll just keep it. It's a Canadian copy, so it's in English and French. How about that? I have the other Fate game, which we'll see later on in the video. Borderlands Game of the Year Edition and Borderlands 2. Good games. What I said about the pre-sequel, basically the same for this. Some of these are sticky because of like the cache converter stickers that were on them. I never got around to using Gugon to kind of get them off, so some of them are still a bit sticky. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But they are good, especially Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is very good, and it still looks very good to this day. Very cheap to buy these days, by the way. You got a lot of content for your price. For the price of admission. Brutal Legend, it has Jack Black, and it's a Tim Schafer game. Can't really go wrong there. It's a really fun game. It's like a third-person hack and slash where you go through this open world and everything's heavy metal. You don't get games like this anymore. It has Ozzy Osbourne in it as well, which is awesome. Love this game. Really recommend it. It's a lot of fun. 2 of the BlazBlue games. I understand there's another BlazBlue game for PS3, but I don't have it. I haven't played this one too much. I'm not a big fighting game fan, If I'm getting them, it's for the collection. Black Site, first-person shooter with aliens, middle of the ground. It's okay. The BioShock games. You have Bioshock and Bioshock 2 Ultimate Rapture Edition comes with all the DLC, and the Complete Edition of Bioshock Infinite includes all of the DLC add-on packs. I think they're on the disc. Whenever I can get a Complete Edition that has like all the DLC and stuff, that's always the version I want for my collection. I'd much rather have these than the individual games, because then, I have them complete, and when they shut down those servers and you can't get the DLC anymore, this is where you gotta go to get it. This is where you gotta go to get it. The Bioshock games, what can you say about them? They really changed gaming when they came out. This one came out in like 2007, which is insane to think about. 13 years old and it's still such a good game. It still looks really great. Bioshock 2, not so much. Bioshock Infinite, very, very good. Helped to streamline a lot of stuff. It's a shame we haven't had a Bioshock since, What's been holding them back? Battlefield Hardline, I actually really enjoyed this game. I paid like $5 for this one. And so it's just one that I've had for a while. It's really good. I recommend it. It's it's not really about war in this one. It's more about a single player story. Like, you play as this cop that's getting involved with like a drug cartel. I'm not sure where the other one is, but I definitely have the other one. The Batman Arkham games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, once again, Game of the Year edition, although the DLC in this one isn't very good. But Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are two of the best games on the PlayStation 3. If you're getting into the PlayStation 3 and you haven't played these games, maybe you've been out of gaming for a while and you like superhero movies, give these a go. There's no reason not to. They are fantastic. You will love them. They have very intuitive controls, and these are two games that don't get talked about a whole lot, but these also changed gaming in a way. There were so many copycat games after Arkham Asylum came out, Even using the same kind of combat system. It's hard to think of what combat was before this. It was really clunky. The Arkham game's really good. You really feel like Batman when you're playing them. The Bureau, XCOM Declassified, it's bad. Someone tried to make a Mass Effect game using XCOM, and it just doesn't work at all. Brink, say what you want about this game, I love it. It's a lot of fun. Multiplayer was excellent back in the day. I actually have no idea why people didn't like it. I understand the campaign is very short, but it's not a campaign-driven game. If this game came out today, people would love it, because these days they're used to a game having a very short campaign and a massive focus on multiplayer. But yeah, back in the day, people didn't like it. Got no love. Brothers Arms, Hell's Highway, excellent game. I have no idea why they didn't continue this series. Very realistic style combat. You can get killed in a couple of seconds, and you can flank your enemies and all of that. Great game. Bloodstone 007. 007 Legends is a game I don't have, and I am on the lookout for. I feel like an idiot. I had the game, and I sold it thinking I already had it. One of those classics. And apparently it's the best one, Yep, I'll be back. My wife is back to help. No, not the person watching, the person behind the camera. Yeah. Her.
Me.
You. Alright, so I've come to the realization that there is no way we're getting through all of this collection. Especially if I keep yammering on like I do. But we will do the first two shelves tonight. Okay, body count. This is a really fun game. Kind of arcade style. It's a bit weird to be killing people and being scored points like a high score, but it is very fun if you turn your mind off to it. I definitely recommend this one. I paid $1 for it. And JB Hi-Fi were clearancing them out. Burnout Paradise, the Ultimate Box. This took me years to find. Hey, screw. This took me years to find. It was... I had a normal edition of it for a long time, but I randomly just found it in a computer exchange once for I think $4 or $5. It was priced at what the original game should be priced at, but they mispriced it. I sometimes keep old receipts in these. Like, I like to see what people originally paid for them, just because it's interesting. But yeah, the Ultimate Box there. Very good game. Very, there's a lot of interesting music, and you can import your own music to it. So if you just want to drive around in an arcadey style experience in a big city, get Burnout Paradise. Bladestorm, the 100-Year War. Good game. It's a lot like Dynasty Warriors, and Dynasty Warriors games are pretty much all the same. You run around, you beat up enemies. I don't like Dynasty Warriors games much because there's not much meat to your attacks. You know, when you attack someone, you don't get that satisfaction of having attacked them. Not like in other games, if that makes sense. Yeah, when you kill 10 enemies at a time, it's like the individual achievement is taken away. It means nothing. Bionic Commando, not very good. Killed the franchise. Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2. They are all very good. They all have story modes that you can play. Especially Bad Company 2 has a really good story mode. I do recommend them. They are incredibly cheap to get now. You can get them for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, people just... There's no value to them, so they're cheap. Bound by Flame, I've not played this one. I hear it's a Dark Souls kind of clone. A little bit up, babe. Here it's kind of a Dark Souls clone. Not supposed to be great, but it is one I wanted for my collection. Bayonetta. I have this game on Wii U, but I thought it would be nice just to have it on PS3 as well. I didn't pay $14 for it. I think I paid like $5. This is from a JB Hi-Fi that was clearancing all of its PS3 stuff out. It is a very good game. Very good game. It took stuff from Devil May Cry and God of War and really polished it. Really made it as perfect as it can get. Bayonetta 2 is just as good. The character design is awesome, by the way. Especially the monsters. 2 Bakugan games. I can't say I've played these too much. Not a whole lot of interest. Bakugan was a fad from memory. These little balls that you threw down, and they would have like cards that came with them, and you do battle. Kind of like Beyblades, I guess, a little bit, except I guess Beyblades was better because you had like to build the Beyblade. Yeah, I never really played these ones too much. They're supposedly okay. Right, now we'll look at the stuff that was on the top bit. We'll actually just film the top bit, and then that'll be us done for tonight. We'll finish off the Bs here. We have Bulletstorm. This got a re-release on the PlayStation 4 for some reason, and it was insanely expensive when it came out. Not sure why. Good game though. A lot like Body Count actually. Beyond Two Souls. This was one of the Quantum Dreams games. It's good. I really liked it when it came out, but when I tried to play it a bit more recently in the last couple of years, it doesn't hold up as well. But it does have Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe is crazy. It's interesting though. Quantum Dreams really make their own sort of games, and there's not a whole lot of companies that make the same kind of games that they do. Very story driven, even if the plot has contrivances. Bleach, Soul Resurrection. There's no T in there, so does Resurrection. I don't know if that's a misspelling or some kind of weird stylistic choice. I haven't followed Bleach at all. I've played this a bit. It's a lot like the Naruto games. You know, 3D fighting game. It's okay. Blades of Time. This game sucks. I believe this is the sequel to a Xbox 360 game called X-Blades. It was a very early release. And Konami putting out games like these, I don't blame them for stopping putting out games because I can't imagine they made much money on these. It's a very generic hack and slash type game. It's not very interesting. But game that is very interesting, Binary Domain. This is an awesome third-person shooter, very fast-paced, very cool story. He plays as like cyborg, who's trying to shut down this factory that's gone rogue, and all of the robots in the factory are killing the factory workers, and they're trying to bring about like the end of the world. It's very cool. It's a bit like iRobot, that movie, but done much better. I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. And Battle Fantasia. Not a great game, but it is very rare. I don't think it's worth a whole lot. It's a fighting game. You know, fighting games that aren't well known don't tend to hold their value unless they do something special or become popular, so it's just a fighting game. Right. Get on to the C section. That was a bad name to call this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 in a nice steel case. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. One of the only Call of Duty games I've beaten, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Game of the Year Edition. It includes nothing extra, I don't think. But I did play this one. I think this is the one where the nuke goes off at the end. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I think it was Modern Warfare 4 where you shoot up a airport. I don't think I have that one. Do you really need them? I mean, you got all of these. What else do you need? Call of Juarez the Cartel. I think I have the other Call of Juarez games. I will check in a minute. It was okay. Not as good as the other Call of Juarez games. Oh wait, I do have the other Call of Juarez games. Hold on, stay there, babe. Brand new and not brand new. I didn't even see it there. So I currently have 2 copies of the game. Yeah, if I find brand new games for like $1 or $2, even if I already have them, I'll usually buy them again just because it's a brand new game for $1. Yeah, it was $100 once upon a time, so who's not going to buy it for $1? Castlevania Lords of Shadows 2. I also have the first Castlevania Lord of Shadows game here. These are very good, but I don't think Lord of Shadows 2 sold very well because they didn't do anything with the Castlevania series for a few years after it came out. Which is a shame, because it is good. They're 3D action platformers, I guess, kind of like God of War, but a bit more difficult. But Lords of Shadows 2, you have like stealth segments where you play as like this swarm of rats who can just be stomped on to be killed, which is a bit stupid. Good games though. Child of Eden. I recommend this game to everyone who ever sees it. It's a good game. It's insanely cheap. You can use the PlayStation Move, but you don't have to. It's a lot like Rez. I believe it's made by the same people. I don't know who they are at all. But it plays just like Rez. You know, it's a rhythm shooting game. And it's very fun. There's a lot of cool techno music. It's very cool just to sit down and play. I don't know the story at all, but it is very, very fun. Catherine. That Catherine. No, that Catherine. My wife's name is Catherine. It's an interesting... Your name. It's an interesting game. It's a puzzle platformer mixed with a kind of slice of life. You play as a character who is cheating on his wife with a woman named Catherine. No, he's cheating on his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Catherine, and the woman he is cheating on is also named Catherine. It's a bit weird. For half of the game, you're just watching story mode take place, and you find out that this woman he cheated with is a bit crazy. So in the end, the guy kind of gets what he deserves as being a cheater. He gets a crazy woman who tries to kill him. That's why you be faithful with your wife, people. Otherwise, craziness happens. But the gameplay is interesting. During dream segments, you go to this purgatory land, and you have to climb these towers and do block puzzles in order to escape. It is good. Weeaboos fucking love this game, because it is the closest they will ever get to texting a woman. It's true. Or going out with friends and socializing.
Aww.
Prove me wrong, Weeaboos. Prove me wrong.
Poor people.
Captain. Hey, I love the game too. Come on. I'm making fun of myself as much as any other person. Captain America Super Soldier. This game sucks. I'm the one here showing my PlayStation 3 collection.
Most of them suck.
I'm just as much of a winner in this as anybody watching it, trust me. Wield the shield. No thank you. The Cursed Crusade, it's okay. It's another kind of Dark Souls clone. I've yet to get really, really into it, but it is very difficult. Conflict and Ops. I believe this is a multiplayer game, yeah, couch co-op.
Oh, we should play it.
Yeah, we should. See how it is. I've not played this one yet, so we shall try that out. Captain Morgan and the Golden Turtle. This is also on the Nintendo DS, I think, and PC. It's a good game. It's a point-and-click adventure where you use a PlayStation Move controller or just a regular controller. It's worth playing. It's very, very good. One of my favorite games on PS3, action hack and slash. It is Conan the Barbarian. This is a really fun game. It's like God of War, but with Conan the Barbarian, which just makes it even better. You know, what's the thing he says? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
I always thought it was a survival game.
No, not at all. You're a He-Man type character, babe. It's not survival.
Oh.
You're riding a dragon on the back. Come on.
Maybe I was thinking of a different game.
You must be. Great game, though. If you like God of War, check out Conan. Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion XL. This is the Super Smash Brothers of the Cartoon Network series. It's a couch co-op, I think.
Well, we should give it a go.
I'll put it to the side so we can. Cars 2. I thought I actually didn't have this game, but it turns out I do. It's with the manual incomplete, and I only paid $5 for it. I don't remember buying it, but I did, and here it is. It's worth like $40 these days. I don't know why. Condemned 2. Excellent game. First-person horror. I don't know why they didn't make more games in this series. To my knowledge, this sold pretty well, so there's really no reason not to make more. I remember in the first game, there's this level where you're in a cabin, and the cabin gets attacked by a bear, and you can't fight the bear, you just have to run away. But the main gimmick of this game is that for the most part, you're just using melee weapons, so you have to kind of duck and weave when you're battling enemies. It's pretty good. It's if you're looking for a horror game and you haven't played this one, give it a go, it's good. Crash Time 4, The Syndicate. There's a lot of these Crash Time games. I don't have much time for them. I have the fourth game. I think the third one's also on PS3. It's okay. It's an arcade racing game. There's a lot of them out there. it's hard to recommend this game over something like Ridge Racer. And the final things for this shelf, and the last ones I will review, not review, just show. Crysis 3. I'm unsure if Crysis 2 is on the PlayStation 3, but if it is, I'll need to check my collection fully and see if I have it, and if I don't, I need to get it. But Crysis 3 is very good. And babe, what do they do with copies of Crysis?
Oh, they test their PCs with them.
Modern PCs, right?
Modern PCs.
Yeah. Pretty cool though. I remember the Crysis games, they always looked very, very good. And this is probably one of the best looking games on PS3.
And that's why they test the PCs with it.
Yep. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, excellent game. The DLC is not worth playing, it's just too difficult. All of the enemies scale in it, it's just, no matter what level you are going to get wrecked, so it's kind of unfair. It's a DLC where you need to be incredibly skilled at the game to beat it, which actually makes it really fair. Main game is awesome though, love it. Driver, San Francisco. There's a couple of Driver games on the PlayStation 3. I don't have a lot of time for them, so I only feel the need to have this one. This is the one that I like. I like driving games sometimes, so it's fun to just pop them in and relax and drive around a big city because it's expensive to do that in real life. I might show this in the next pile because it's part of a series. But, last game for now, Dishonored. Dishonored is a great game. It's a bit like Thief. I wouldn't call it the spiritual successor because it's just too action-packed. But it's much more like Thief than the Thief game that came out for the PS3. I would recommend it. If you're looking for a good stealth game, good first-person action, give it a go. There's a lot of cool abilities you can try. It's also super-duper cheap. Alright, cut. Day 2 of the PlayStation 3 collection. I am in my underpants, as is Catherine, so we will not be filming the shot we were filming before. Now just do a first-person shot. No, she has a shirt on. Hi, Catherine. So our next set of games will be this shelf. I'll probably just film this bit because I only have about 30 minutes left on this, what do they call them, babe? Hard drives and a phone? What are they called? SSD. But if I don't waffle on too much, we'll get through it. Right, first up, we start with the D's. This is the one I just recently got. I haven't actually shown it in a video yet, so this will be the first time anyone has seen it. Where are the other ones? Here we go. Ah. Oh, this is going to take way longer than 30 minutes. Yeah. Got it. We have 4 Dynasty Warriors Gundam games on the PlayStation 3. Dynasty Warriors Gundam, Dynasty Warriors Gundam 2, Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3, and Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn. Now, those of you outside of the United States you already know about Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn. The people in the United States did not get this game physically, so this is somewhat of a rare game, and it's worth quite a bit. I actually have no idea what the difference is between these 3 games. I think this one is much more stylized, like a cartoon, like the show, and this one looks more realistic. But honestly, all they had to do was print Dynasty Warriors Gundam on something, and it was going to sell 1 million copies, you know? And they did it 3 times. Let's get down on our knees for this one. Hey, I'm Catherine's height. To start off with Darksiders, great game. They made 2 others. I have the second one somewhere. It'll be somewhere in this collection video, maybe on my other shelf. You play as the god of, which god of this one? You play as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, that's right. You gotta stop the end of the world. There's 100 Dragon Ball Z games on this stupid system. See if I can find them all right now. I think that's it. These are the ones I have. I know there are more. I probably have a few more somewhere. Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, and Dragon Ball Xenoverse. These are all more or less the same game. You know, in terms of like characters, story, all of that. They have like little differences, like differences in gameplay and stuff. Honestly, if you have one, you know, that's as good as having all of them. Now, someone's going to be angry, like, oh no, the Dragon Ball Z games are all so different. Dead Space, where are the other ones? Here we go. Dead Space 3. Dead Space 2. I have the first one somewhere, I'll find it later on in this video. I have this one sealed, brand new. I think I found it for like a dollar, something like that. So great deal. This is the collector's edition. It comes with the Wii game, Dead Space Extraction, and it's very, very good. Although you have to use a light gun for that one. Dead Space 3, very long. It's a good multiplayer game, but you cannot do couch co-op, so it's like, why bother, man? Let's try and move these. I can get my collection in order while I do this. How about that? Dynasty Warriors 6. Let's get this out of the way.
Told you it was too full.
Oh no, the washing machine. Crisis averted. So Dynasty Warriors 6. Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires. This is like a Game of the Year edition. Has a bunch more content. Dynasty Warriors Strike Force. Cool game. I like this one more than probably any other Dynasty Warriors game. Dynasty Warriors 7 Extreme Legends. And Dynasty Warriors 8. Yeah, there's a lot of Dynasty Warriors games. I may have some more on the next shelf, but I honestly don't know. We shall check when we get to it. This is stuff that, like, the order of this collection has not been changed in a few years, so a lot of it is stuff you've already seen, but, you know, for new subscribers, they're gonna want to see this stuff. When we get to the, new shelves, that's where it's going to get interesting. Dead to Rights Retribution, really good game. Check it out. Good third-person shooter. You have a pupper. I love any game where you can use a dog. It's always fun. Like Dog's Life?
Yeah. I like that game.
Dante's Inferno. Great game. I originally played this on the PSP of all things. And fell in love with it. It's a lot like God of War. It is unashamedly a God of War clone, but it's still a really good game. You know, it adds its own twist to things, so you're playing as Dante, going through the 7 layers of hell or whatever it is. Like, you fight the beast dog Cerberus, stuff like that. It's really fun. Dark Void should have been better than what it was. One of those Capcom games before they stopped making original titles. Nowadays they just do remakes, which I mean, it brings in the money, so why wouldn't you? Interesting game though, it's a bit different. Dragon Age 2, I have the first Dragon Age somewhere. I have like the good edition, the one you want. This one's just okay. Devil May Cry 4, and I guess we'll also show DMC Devil May Cry. I bought this when it was new for like $100. Kind of regret that now because now it's a $5 game. But I had actually recently played Devil May Cry 3 before I had bought it, and I thought, man, I love Devil May Cry. I want some more Devil May Cry, and back then all I did was consume new media, so I was like, well, I'll just buy it. And it was okay. Crazy short, man. I think this game is less than 10 hours long, which is just, for $100, I don't know. Not a whole lot of replay value. Same with Devil May Cry 4, it's like once you play them once, they're kind of one and done. They're good games, but they really peaked at 3, and then they haven't really been able to pick it up since then. And Devil May Cry 2 sucks. Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. I have it in my collection. Darkness 2 and Darkness. I bought Darkness 2 brand new as well, another one of my big regrets. I paid like $80 for it. 4 hour long game, dude. Thankfully, like, I just sold it immediately after and recouped like $70 back, but still. The Darkness, really, really cool game. You play as this mafia guy who's gotten these like darkness powers where he's got these two tentacles coming out of them and he can use them as weapons. They're really cool. And the Darkness 2 is just a continuation of the story. You end up in hell at the end. This copy is brand new sealed. Yeah, I got a brand new sealed copy for like $5 a couple of years after it came out. A regular edition copy of Deus Ex Human Revolution. It comes with exclusive stuff, so I thought, yeah, I'll grab it. Destroy All Humans, Path of the Furon. I've not played this one, but the other Destroy All Human games are really good. This one's supposed to be, I think, more like open world, but I've not played too much into it. I'm not sure if the PS3 has any other Dead Rising games, but I do have Dead Rising 2 off the record. I think mostly they've been on the Xbox and the Wii, so... yeah, I have one. It's good. I want to get the edition that comes in the metal tin, the Zombrex edition, because that looks really good. Deadly Premonition, Director's Cut. I paid $50 for this brand new. It was worth every penny. This is a really fun, really different kind of game. It's very low budget. Warning people now, if you can't look past a game's faults, and there are many, you are not going to enjoy it. But similar to a bad movie, if you do stick with it, there is some real enjoyment to be had. And they put a lot of effort into this game. I think maybe they just didn't have the budget or the skill set to make what they wanted to make. Hopefully with Deadly Premonition 2 coming out in July or June, it'll fix all of the issues and it'll be the game that this one wanted to be. And the director's cut is very good. Although, I think the original Xbox 360 version is like the definitive best version of the game. This just has extra stuff, but they mess with the lighting and stuff in this version, so it's kind of weird looking. And some of the textures, like there's a lake that just has no textures on it. It's really weird to look at. Another break. Alright, this video is going to be longer than the life of a mayflower. Mayfly? What's that one that only lives for a day, babe? The mayfly. But we have Disgaea 3 and Disgaea 4 here. I also have Disgaea D2, which is a remake of Disgaea 2. We have all three of them. This one is really, really good. I've actually played about like 40 hours of this, not finished it. I played it on the Vita and then just never got around to finishing it. You know, new games came up, but I never got around to it. And the other games, I haven't played. Maybe they're good, I don't know. We'll keep them together. Get them in some sort of order here. Here's Darksiders 2. Where's Darksiders? All the way back at the beginning. There we go. You already saw one of these games, Dark Souls. Eep. Eep. Damn you, Gravity. Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. This copy of Dark Souls is the Prepare to Die edition. It has all of the DLC on the disc, and the DLC for Dark Souls is actually worth owning, so I own it. I believe I paid like $50 brand new for this copy. This is a copy I originally had. I remember playing this game for about, I think, 3 hours, and I just could not progress. I was trying to hack and slash my way through the game. Regular enemies were wrecking me, and then I went away for like 6 months. It was after watching a playthrough of the game on YouTube when I was younger. I came back to this game with a new mindset, and I thrashed the bloody thing. Like, I did so well. I kind of followed the same basic guidelines that the playthrough was going through, but it helped me. And Dark Souls 2, which I do enjoy. People don't like this one as much. I would like to have the Scholar of the First Sin edition, but I'm probably going to get that on PS4 when I get it. I'll get all of the Dark Souls games on PS4. I bought Dark Souls 3 brand new. I think that was the last brand new game I ever bought. Destiny! it's okay. Dead Island Game of the Year edition. Washing is done. Can you hang it out? No. And Dead Island Riptide. These games are really bad, but they're also really fun. I remember this was one of the first R-rated games in Australia. It's funny to think that we did not always have R-rated games, and that unless they were approved by the rating system, R-rated games were usually banned in Australia. So I remember when this one came out, I was like, yeah, we finally get R-rated games. And also Dead Island Game of the Year edition. These are fun. They're kind of mindless, but they are very fun. First person kind of kill zombies. My knees are hurting. Here we go. Dragon Age Origins. I also have like a special edition of this somewhere, but we will put this with the other one. Where is it? Dragon Age 2. Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls. This is the one with all the DLC and stuff. You know, why not buy it? It's a good game. It's very, very, very long. It takes a lot to get into these Diablo games. I am going to sit. Alright, we come across some of the rarer games here. Little koala. Take the little koala, babe. Move this stuff to the side. Digimon All-Star Rumble. This is like a spiritual successor to the Digimon games on the PlayStation 2. I think they're called Rumble Arena. I have one of them on the PS2. It's a lot of fun. These are really cool. Kind of like if you've played that Pokemon game on the Wii U, where it's like live action Pokemon battles, it's a lot like that. It's really good. And brand new. I remember going to an EB Games that had a used copy of this for the same price, and they had the game, but they just straight up would not sell it to me. Like, they thought they had like a bootleg or something, and I was looking at the disc and I was saying, no, this is real. This is just how the game came. Because for this copy, it has weird artwork. I think it was released in like mainland China or something. But it is Drakengard 3. I ended up buying it brand new for the same price. Haven't got around to playing it or opening it. But yeah, it's on the back here. It's all there. You see like the all region. You see the weird logo. No other PS3 has a blue logo, so you see it, and I can see how you would think it's a bootleg, but it was kind of shitty of them not to sell it to me, especially since I drove like half an hour to get there. Very weird game though. I've played the other two Drakengard games. They're just weird. Very, very weird. The characters are what you play this game for. The gameplay isn't that great. It's like a Dynasty Warriors type game. Hey, another Dragon Ball Z game. Let's put this over here so I can sort it into the other ones. And the final game in the D's, Damnation. This is a first-person shooter. It's okay. There's a lot of first-person shooters on the PS3 that aren't great, but they do try something unique, so I have been trying to get most of them. The Evil Within, great game. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Its gameplay is like Resident Evil 4. You have something to say, Frizzy Head?
No, I've always wanted to play that game.
Oh. Well, we can play it later.
It isn't too late. You can't play it.
We don't have a TV, it broke. El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, also a really good game. It's pretty hard to find these days. You play as an angel battling the devils. Pretty cool. It's a lot like a Devil May Cry, God of War type game. Very good though. I think Pete Dorr loves that game. Earth Defense Force 2025. Basically the only one on PS3 worth owning. I have the other one somewhere. I'll find it and I'll add it to this collection video. You know, it'll be on the other shelf. But really good. This is the one where you get to play as the flying lady, who is the only character you would ever want to play as. But you go around, you kill giant bugs, you know, what more do you want? Another cool game. Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Enough people know about this that I wouldn't consider it an underrated gem or like a hidden gem or whatever. But it is still really good. I believe made by the same people that made the Ninja Gaiden games on PlayStation 3. It's basically Journey to the West. Yeah, if you know that story, the story of the Monkey King helping a princess out, cool guy. Enchanted Arms, I had this on Xbox 360 back in the day. I thought I'd grab it for PS3. It's okay. It's a kind of generic style RPG. Like when you do battle, you're on like this grid system. It's interesting. It's a From Software game though, so if you collect ones from individual developers, this is one to grab because they did develop it. And all of that is going to fall. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion 5th Anniversary Edition and Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim the Legendary Edition. Both great games. I prefer Skyrim a little bit more than Oblivion just because of the scaling system of the enemies. It gets to a point in Oblivion where you'll reach a certain level and then all of the enemies in the dungeons will just change, and for a few hours you'll have a lot of difficulty killing these enemies. Yeah, they're really tough. This has the Knights of the Nine and Shivering Isles. Haven't played those. And this has the ones where you can become a werewolf and a vampire. I wonder what the next Elder Scrolls game will be. Or if they're even making one. I don't know. Enemy Front, this one's decent. It's got cool sniper rifle action. I would check it out. It's interesting. It's a first-person kind of stealth game in World War II. I liked it. It's not perfect. A game that is perfect, Everybody's Golf World Tour. This is such a fun game. I feel like people that immediately hate on sports games, they haven't played Everybody's Golf, but they haven't appreciated just how fun the game is. You know, I love Everybody's Golf. It's like Virtua Tennis. You gotta give it a play. It's a lot of fun. I need to somehow fit these back in. I'll have to do some collection maintenance. Eat Lead, this game sucks. Fracture, this game sucks. From Mission Evolved, I've not really played it. Fuse, fun game. Only pay like $5 for it. Split screen multiplayer. It's fun. This was the other one. The Guided Fate Paradox. I had the other game above. The Awakened Fate Ultimatum. This was the first game. You play as a dude that goes to heaven. He's God. It's pretty fun. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. I like these games just because, you know, it's something to play with the wife when she feels like playing the PlayStation 3. We're yet to play this one, but it looks pretty fun. Always like to grab games of couch co-op. Ghostbusters, the video game. I was a little bit disappointed with this, although I will say it is a good game. It's just not as good as I was expecting it to be. There is fun to be had, though. Paltoriatory Gang, Rise Up, Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 2. I'm not sure if it's a great game, to be honest. I know it's supposed to be like Dynasty Warriors, but with Fist of the North Star characters. If you see Koei there, that means it's basically a Dynasty Warriors game. I know they made a new Fist of the North Star game that's supposed to be more like Yakuza. I'd love to sit down and play that. Alright, now I can do this. Yeah! Now the collection's back in order. And I'll find a place to put that one. Might as well do this top layer. Top Spin 4, fun arcade game. Lego Movie, I have a few Lego games, they're fun to play multiplayer. White Knight Chronicles 2, I had a tough old time getting this one. This includes a fully remastered version of the first White Knight Chronicles, which is not a great game, but this one is really, really, really good. I ordered this 3 times from Computer Exchange, and each time it came as the first game, so I've ended up just getting a copy in person. Fairy Tail Fights, another game that's really fun in multiplayer. I definitely recommend it. It's kind of hack and slash. You play as these cute fairy tale characters just killing things. I'll move that remote. 2 games, incredibly rare. Only released in continental Europe. Bloodbath and Kick-Ass 2. I ordered these brand new, but Kick-Ass came in a really busted up case. And so even though it was brand new, it was completely busted up. So I swapped it out for a nicer case. These were both made by a company, or released by a company called Freedom Factory. Don't know much about them. They're not very good, but they are very, very rare. I think I paid like $25 for each of those, so it wasn't like I was breaking the bank. How to Train Your Dragon 2. Yeah, just a kid's game. It's got co-op. Another one of the wrestling games I have. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. I have a lot of wrestling games. I enjoy them. This one's in a nice steel tin. Transformers Dark of the Moon. I bought this thinking it was worth something. It's not. It doesn't have the manual or anything, but hey, it was cheap. Might have been like $5 or something. Another one of my games in a special edition case. Hitman Absolution, the professional edition. This one comes with like, you know, art book. Generic special edition junk, but it's a cool game. I like Hitman 2. Hitman Absolution isn't the best in the series. Let's put this one up here. Okay, I'm gonna clear my hard drive and come back. Okay, we have the Fear series of games. The first one, Fear 2 Project Origin and Fear 3. This series probably peaked at the first one, but the second one was also very good. The third one was good too, but not as good. Although I think you can do couch co-op for this one. Possibly. I do recommend these. First-person shooters with a element of horror to them. Fear 3 just goes a lot of weird places, you know. I won't spoil anything, but it does get pretty weird. I can make a new pile while I'm here. Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage. I also have Ken's Rage 2, which is somewhere, maybe on the next shelf. Oh, or did I already show it? I may have already shown it, I don't know. It's been days since I filmed the last iteration, I don't know what's going on. Final Fantasy, A Realm Reborn. This is online multiplayer only, so I don't actually think you can play this, which means it's both worthless and completely pointless to own, but I have it. In my defense, I believe it was $1 from a JB Hi-Fi that was clearancing them out. The Fallout 3 series. We have Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition, and just a regular edition of Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is a great game, and Fallout 3 is actually the first game I played when I got my Xbox 360, and I was blown away from it. I didn't know like games could be as big and have as much in them as was in those games. Unfortunately, the series never really recovered from the old Fallout 76. I don't think many people would be lining up to buy a new one now. But those ones are very good. You can kind of like create your own person, which is awesome. Like, that's what you want in an RPG. Fallout 3. Far Cry 3. Far Cry 4. And Far Cry The Wild Expedition, which has... what does it have on it? Classics, Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3, and Blood Dragon. Nice. I believe some of these are on the disc. Others are on the manual. I'm just gonna fix the artwork up there. Yeah, like some of them are on the... only 2 and 3 are on the disc. The rest are on the manuals, and I'm absolutely certain that the codes to actually play them are gone now, so what can you do? Put that one there. grab this pile. Some of the other Final Fantasy games. We have Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, and Final Fantasy 13 2. It's crazy to think that they made 3 Final Fantasy 13 games, and generally no one liked any of them. People hated Final Fantasy 13 because it's trash. Final Fantasy 13 2 was okay, but yeah. And Lightning Returns was just boring, you know. Lightning Returns is like the only fun thing to do in that game is collect costumes and make your character look different. It's pretty stupid, but it does come in like a steelbook, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, not a big fan of these, but they're in the collection. Folklore, PlayStation 3 exclusive. I got this from EB Games back in the day. I think it was like $30. I thought, hey, that's a cool deal for a game I've never heard of, and it is an awesome game. Definitely check it out. It's got some really unique elements to it. You play this woman who goes to this like ocean town, and she goes into this forest where she faces monsters and stuff. It's really cool. Graphics are awesome. Definitely recommend it. Somewhat rare, harder to find. Let's start with this one. God of War Ascension. I also have, if I can grab them, a brand new sealed copy of the God of War Collection and God of War 3, the Collector's Edition. So I have the very best of the God of War games on the PlayStation 3, and they're worth owning. They're really good. God of War 1 and 2 are obviously amazing classics these days. Definitely worth grabbing if you don't have them. They're pretty dirt cheap, actually. Like, I think I got this sealed copy for like $5-10 at one point. God of War 3 is one of the best games on the PlayStation 3, and it still holds up. Yeah, it's a hack and slash game. It's really, really fun. And God of War Ascension is couch co-op. I have the special edition here in a nice steel case. This is back when you needed the network pass to access it though, so I'm not sure if they did away with that or if you still need to put in the code. I have no idea. But it is an awesome game. It's like a prequel to the God of War series. That will not fit up there. That's okay, I'll put them on the next shelf. We have Guitar Hero games, and there are a lot of them. I have 4 of them here. We have Guitar Hero World Tour, Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, Guitar Hero 5, and Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock. I have a Guitar Hero guitar somewhere, and obviously if you haven't played Guitar Hero, you know, get around to it. They're a lot of fun. I definitely recommend the Guitar Hero games. You will have a lot of fun playing them. Great rhythm games. Put those there. Pow! Alright. The Godfather 2. This is a sequel to the Godfather video game on PS2, which I have somewhere over there. I can see it. Can you see it? It's in a steelbook. It's good. Open world game, as was the style of the time. I recommend it. It's fun to play, and it's very cheap these days. Game of Thrones and Game of Thrones the Telltale series. It's weird to think, but people loved the Telltale series back in the day, you know. Anytime they made a new Telltale game, like, people would love to play it. I still need the Batman game. I think I might have the Batman one, actually. We'll see. Yeah, this Game of Thrones game is like a kind of action RPG. It's okay. It's not great, but the story is pretty good. And this has a great story, and obviously the Telltale games, they all play the same, you know. They're not really point and click like the live action kind of adventure games. They're good. Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. It's another one of those fighting games, anime fighter. There's a lot of them out there. God, there's a lot of them. Ooh, this shouldn't have... The rest of the G's. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You saw Grand Theft Auto 5 up there. And I also have Grand Theft Auto 4, the Game of the Year edition that comes with episodes from Liberty City, which is the Ballad of Gay Tony, which is actually a really good DLC. GTA 4 is awesome, it's as good as GTA 5 was. And San Andreas, I can't really recommend the PS3 one because it just looks a bit janky compared to the PS2 one. I don't know what it is.
Is a port of the mobile phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. No wonder it looks bad.
Yeah.
I wonder why they did that. No wonder it looks so weird. Huh.
You know the one on Android?
Yeah. That's weird. I have Golden Axe Beast Rider. Not a great game, but there is some fun to be had with it. Third-person hack and slash. It's kind of rare, from my knowledge, because it's sold very poorly. I don't have a manual of mine, unfortunately. The Golden Compass, I actually really like this game. A lot of the movie games on the PS3 are really fun. They're all kind of similar. They're like beat-em-up style games, which, I mean, it's hard to screw that up. And it is fun. Check it out if you don't have it. It's dirt cheap. You can get it for, like, pennies. Genji Days of the Blade. I've tried multiple times to get into this. I just can't. Same with the PS2 ones. I understand they're supposed to be very good once you get into them, but I don't know, man. This will always be the game that, to me, had the giant enemy crab from that disastrous E3 press conference. It's okay, though. Stylish graphics. And the last of the G's, the last of the real G's. We have Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 6. It took them a long time to release Gran Turismo 5. And, Gran Turismo Classic Series. Racing games, they're a lot of fun. I do prefer arcade-style races over simulations, but, I mean, people will play these for hours and hours and never get bored. But not me. And now we start with the letter H. We have House of the Dead Overkill Extended Cut. I need to remove that sticker. That can be something I do later. I believe I paid like $5 for this. Ignore that. I paid $5 and had another sticker under it. This is a really cool game. It's an updated version of the Wii game. It's classic. This game has like really good humor. It's a light gun game. If you don't play too many light gun games, get into them. They're awesome. Actually, it looks fine like that. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. God, I hated that remake. The same game as Africa. I don't know why they changed the title for... I think this is the Japanese copy. Oddly enough, I found all of these copies out in the wild. I've found like 4 copies of this since I started collecting PS3, so people say it's rare, but I don't know how rare it is. Oh, have you played this one, babe? It's a safari game.
I should play it.
You should.
Can you take photos in that game?
Oh, in the game. Yeah. I thought you meant take a photo of the case.
No.
Yeah, you can take photos in the game.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I couldn't play it before.
Alright, now we have the... let's move this over. Hyperdimension Neptunia games. I have 3 of them. I understand there's a couple more that are like stupid, rare, or expensive, but I don't know. Hyperdimension Neptunia, Hyperdimension Neptunia Mark II, and Hyperdimension Neptunia Victory. I cannot say I've played these at all. I kind of know the story. I think you're a character that really likes video games. And like, there's a lot of video game references in them, but I've not put any time into them. I don't know if they're any good at all. But I have them. I do have them. Heavy Rain, I have both the regular edition and this like cool edition that I found. I understand there's an edition where you can use the move, so I don't really want to own 3 copies of Heavy Rain, so I'll just keep these 2 copies. Well, we have this one. This is just the regular edition. And this one is like a nice special edition. It comes with like special edition junk. And this is actually like you can feel it and it feels like bumpy. It's really cool. Let's put this one up here. Right, Homefront. I got this super cheap. It was like $5. I love this game. It's really, really fun. It's pretty short, so it's very palatable just to quickly play through in an afternoon or something. I've not played the sequel, but I did like this one. It was about like Russia invading America, and it was fun. I think it was Russia invading America. Someone's invading America. Hellboy, The Science of Evil. This game isn't very good, but it is a Hellboy game, and I don't think there are any other Hellboy games out there, so I have it in my collection. I like the movies. I really, really like the movies. Not seen the new movie, though. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. There's a lot of fun to be had with these Harry Potter games. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the PS1 is actually one of my favorite PS1 games, and this one is pretty good too. You do the stuff you do in the movie. You do like Quidditch, you do spells, you do potions and classes. It's worth playing, it's fun. Especially if you're a fan of Harry Potter, which I'm not a big fan of Harry Potter, but I mean, I like the movies. The History Channel Battle for the Pacific. This one is interesting. Just because you get to play on like real fights. But it's not a great game. Heavenly Sword, I remember when this came out, people were saying this was like a system seller for the PS3, but it's not that great. I think when God of War 3 came out, everyone pretty quickly forgot about this one. Not to say it's not good, but it's just not as great as other games that have come out. Worth a play if you have it though. It's super cheap, I think. Nice, a little bit of collection maintenance there that you didn't even notice. And thank God I can finally sit down. Now I can just show stuff. I already showed that. So I'll start just with the games that are poking out. These are DualShock 3. These are games that I just don't have space for. Little Big Planet 2, limited edition collector's box. Little Big Planet games are awesome. I don't know why they haven't made a new one for a while. Rock of the Dead? Ah, no. This is a Guitar Hero game with a story mode. You use the guitar to kill zombies. It's kind of like House of the Dead, but it's Rock of the Dead. A lot of fun. Sniper Elite 3. All of these sniper games are pretty good, and they make a new one every, like, 3 or 4 years. You know, you're in Africa in this one in World War II. You kill Nazis or something, you know, the story doesn't really matter too much in these. Resistance 2, I tried my best to get into this one. It's just not for me. It might still be in my system. Yep, still in my system. Yeah, I played this one before I went to Vietnam. That's how long it's been since I've played the PS3. And I can't play them anymore because my TV broke. But I like the first one more. What is it, my love? She made a mess. Beep. Almost dropped the phone. Good work. Go clean yourself up, babe. She's baking me a cake because it's my birthday. Ski-Doo Snowmobile Challenge. This is apparently a very rare game. You don't see it really at all. But I found a copy and I bought it for like $5. It's weird. It's got fun music though. I do like the music. Another rare game, Toy Story Mania. Just not one that people bought. It flew onto everyone's radars. I think you can find it easier for the Wii. It's just a like a mini game collection with Toy Story characters. It's not great. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, Fatal Conspiracy. I've not played this, but it looks pretty good. The CSI show is really good. J-Stars Victory VS Plus. I've wanted to get into this for a while. It looks really, really cool. Like a fighting game with different anime characters. That sounds right up my alley. Usually I'm not too into fighting games, but when it's with like characters I know, it's different. Gran Turismo 6th Anniversary Edition. I think I paid like $5 for this, I don't know. It's got a nice steel case, so why not? Get dust off of this stuff. SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. I pumped hundreds of hours into this back in the day on the PS2, so I had to own a copy on PS3. It's in a nice steelbook as well. Not sure if there's any extras in the steelbook, but it's pretty. It's a great game. Really, really great game. This is another big shelf. Hold on. Okay, I removed some of the games so I have a bit easier of a time getting into them. We have a version here. This is like the PS3's version of Gears of War. It's not great, but it's interesting. You can mess with gravity in the game, which is kind of cool. Infamous and Infamous 2. These games are awesome. They need to make a new Infamous game yesterday. I know Infamous Second Son wasn't seen as a great game, but I really enjoyed it, and the first two Infamous games are so good. You play as like a superhero with lightning powers, and like it's as you go through the game, you unlock more powers and stuff. It's kind of like the Spiderman game on PS4. I really, really recommend it. Both of them. Especially 2. 2 is one of the best games. Iron Man 2. I have the first Iron Man game somewhere on PS3, I'm pretty sure. Well, I have it on PS2 at least. It's okay. You get to fly around as Iron Man. It's pretty fun. Iltus Temovic, Birds of Prey. I remember when this came out, like, reviews were saying how it just has a stupid name, but it's otherwise a very good game. I've not played much of it, but it's a World War II shooter. Just Cause 2, awesome game. If you haven't played it, it's so much fun. Like, just the cool things you can do in this game, it's worth getting just for the, like, grappling hook stuff. Like, you can grapple hook a helicopter onto a car, and the car will kind of not fly around, but it'll also drag the helicopter. It's really fun. John Daly's Pro Stroke Golf. I think this is my only golf game apart from Everybody's Golf, but they're fun to play every now and again. This is a more kind of simulation game, while Everybody's Golf is more arcade. Just 2 Hot Import Nights. This is also on PS2. I've not played it much, but it looks pretty good. There was a time when everyone was releasing like drifting games. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. I love the JoJo series. I actually watched the first 3 seasons of the anime while I was in isolation not too long ago, and I really enjoyed them. They're a lot of fun. Not played this one too much, but it's supposed to be a pretty good fighting game. It's got a Japanese copy of the game disc in it, but it's the same game, come on. You don't need to be able to read to play a fighting game, just ask anyone in the fighting game community. Knight's Contract, not great. Came with a slipcase for some reason, I don't know why. It's not great. Killzone and Killzone 2. These are really good games, I really recommend them. I would like to get that steel book of Steel Zone 3, but I have to find it at like $5 or less, otherwise there's no point getting it, you know? It has the Platinum Hits copy in it, but that's okay. It's all the same game. Seems I can't move the insert there, it's stuck on the sticker. Oh well. We'll move these over. So I can show this one. King of Fighters 13 Deluxe Edition. I think there's another King of Fighters game on PS3, but I don't have it. I tried to get into this one. I'm not very good at fighting games, as I've said before. Kane Lynch 2 Dog Days. I have the first Kane Lynch game on my other shelf, but I like these games. They're really fun. Catch co-op as well. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 HD Remix. These actually have a lot of games on them for the money you spend. Yeah, it has Kingdom Hearts Rechains of Memory, which is the PSP one, and I think it's just the cinematics for one of them, but yeah, 2 games on that one. And this one has Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which is also on PSP, and the cinematics for Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which wasn't recoded on the DS, I don't remember. They're worth getting into though, they're a lot of fun. A lot of this stuff is a lot of fun, but it is a lot of fun. That's what you want a game to be, you want it to be fun. Lair, this was one of the early games released for the PlayStation 3, it's not very good. You ride a dragon, which sounds like it would be awesome, but I've never played a game where riding a dragon controls in a way that makes the game fun, so... if you can't get the controls right, it's not going to work for any kind of a game. But the graphics are very good. I think you can use the PlayStation 3 controller as like a, if you move the controller like that, the dragon will move in the direction. Lord of the Rings, War in the North, awesome game. Definitely recommend it. Hack and slash in the Lord of the Rings universe. Why wouldn't you? Last of Us Game of the Year edition. It's a shame how the new Last of Us looks based on the leaks that have come out, but obviously the first Last of Us was really, really good. But I do hope the sequel focuses more on the zombies and less on dumb characters. That's all I'll say. Even though it has a great story, it's like, you want good gameplay there too. Lego Lord of the Rings. If you don't like the Lego games, something wrong, man. These are so much fun. I have a few Lego games on the system, enough to keep me occupied. I don't think I have all of them, because there's a million of them out there. But they're all they're all the same gameplay, but just different franchises. The 3 Lost Planet games. This was a franchise that peaked early and then just never recovered. Lost Planet Extreme Condition. Awesome, awesome game. Lost Planet 2 and Lost Planet 3. Lost Planet, the first one, is a great game. You know, you're on this frozen hellscape, you're fighting these giant monsters, you have to absorb their heat to keep yourself running, and your time is always going down. It's a great game. As compared to Lost Planet 2, which is kind of the same, but they went more of a multiplayer route, and it just wasn't the same. And Lost Planet 3, where they changed the gameplay completely, and although I do like Lost Planet 3, it's not as good as the first one, and it's very clear to see why they stopped making them afterwards. Lost, based on the TV show, I've never played it. Never seen the series. Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet 2. And Little Big Planet Karting. Fun games, all very fun games. I have another copy of Little Big Planet 2. It's like the extras edition, so I have 3 copies of Little Big Planet 2. But they're fun. You do platforming, you create levels, you play other people's levels. There's nothing not to like. LA Noire, it's a shame that this game never got a sequel, but the company that made it unfortunately went out of business after it was made. Which sucks, but what can you do, man? The graphics in this are incredible, and they were so good, like so groundbreaking that, you know, they were very expensive, and it sent the company out of business. I think Rockstar pulled something like really shady, like they said, you guys cover the cost of the game and we'll repay you once the game comes out and is making us money. And then they just never did. But great game. Great game. This one is sealed, it's called Magus. I think I paid like $10 for this brand new and had it imported. Just when I was buying like random PS3 games just to own them. I played this on the Xbox 360 though, and this game's bad. Really bad. Another fighting game, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This is the edition you want to get, I guess, if you do get this game. Has all of the unlockable characters and everything. This is a lot of fun, although it is pretty mindless. Mortal Kombat Complete Edition and Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. I like these games. Another Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe would be a lot of fun, although that is kind of what they have Injustice for. Is Injustice on PS3?
What?
Do you know if Injustice is on PS3?
I don't know what that game is.
No, it's a fighting game of superheroes.
I don't know.
That's okay. I'll check the second shelf later. Madagascar Escape to Africa. It's fun. You know, it's a dumb fun game. I like it. Fun platformer. Marvel vs. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. This is a kind of dungeon crawler style game with Marvel characters. It is a lot of fun. You can play as a good guy or a bad guy. I have the first one as well on the other shelf, I'm pretty sure. Minecraft, brand new and sealed. Oddly enough, this is now worth more than when I originally bought it. I paid $30 when I originally bought it. Yeah, what can you say about Minecraft? Mini Ninjas. This is a really fun game too. You can get this on Steam for super duper cheap. But I have the PlayStation 3 copy. It's a lot of fun. You can also get this on PS2. Mind Jack, another game that had kind of interesting ideas. You could like hack into an enemy's brain and then turn them against the opponents. It's interesting. It's not a great game though. Released during a time when Square Enix was trying to appeal to Western fans. Mafia 2. Great game. If you haven't checked out Mafia 2, definitely check it out. It's much better than the first game and much better than Mafia 3. Yeah, you can't say enough good things about it. You really feel like you're driving around in the 1940s when you're driving around in this game, which is just awesome. Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, I would love to get the first Mass Effect game on PS3, but it was only released as part of the trilogy. Maybe one day, if I find it cheap, I'll buy it, but it's not a big priority because I have Mass Effect on Steam and I've played it before. But Mass Effect 2 and 3 are also great games. And people don't like Mass Effect 3 for some reason, but it's a great game too. People are upset about the story, but the story was always going to be what it was, you know? Like, the overarching story of Mass Effect is the end of the universe, and you can't stop that. It was silly of people to think they could in the game. That's why I think, like, it makes sense for the last 3 cutscenes, no matter what choices you make, to always be the same, because, like, well, it didn't matter what you did, it was always going to be the same. Metro Last Light, I don't think the first Metro game is on PS3, but I'll have to check that. I think it's only on Xbox 360, it might be an exclusive. Awesome game though, have you played this one?
No, but there are some of those released on Switch recently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I've always wondered, like, why would you get the Switch version when this is so cheap, you know? Like, you can get this for $5.
Oh, I don't think it's that one that's on the Switch.
No? No. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. The Metal Gear games are very good. I didn't get into this one too much, but I did play a lot of 4. Let's move this stuff down here. I can't believe we're actually making progress in this video. Mugen Souls Z. I'm not really sure what kind of a game this is. It looks weird. I might have to look up gameplay of it because I don't know. Mirror's Edge. This game looks incredible to this day. You know, the white, all of the whites contrasted with like the really deep colors that are presented look really nice. It's also a really fun game. You do like free running, parkour. A lot of games kind of copied this after it came out in terms of free running, but this was like one of the first games to do free running really well. Hey, now I can just relax on the couch. Max Payne 3, this is an awesome game. I have no idea why they've not made a Max Payne 4. Third person shooter, you can do like slowed down time. It's crazy fun. This game is not very fun. Mobile Suit Gundam Target in Sight. It's apparently a pretty rare game. I don't think it's worth anything. It's just not a great game. Considering like the mobile suits are supposed to be like really fast compared to their enemies, it doesn't make sense as to why they're so slow in this game. The two Medal of Honor games, Medal of Honor Limited Edition and Medal of Honor Warfighter Limited Edition. What's limited about them? Nothing. You can get these games really easily in these editions. But this one comes with Medal of Honor Frontline. Probably on a download code. They are good. Unfortunately, they were being released alongside like Battlefield games, and they would just create a competition for themselves. So obviously more people played Battlefield, so they cancelled the Medal of Honor series after Warfighter, which sucks because, you know, they're awesome games. Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. This was another really early release. I don't remember much about it. Just don't remember much. Monsters vs. Aliens, another movie game. It's fun. I remember the movie. The movie is also very fun. Mag. I don't think you can play this game anymore, but when you could play it, it was awesome. It was giant online multiplayer in like this weird, not open world, but in a big world. I don't know why they stopped making these games either. Motorstorm and Motorstorm Apocalypse. It seems like they were creating all of these cool new franchises for the PS3 and then they just didn't make new games when the PS4 came out. I mean, I guarantee a Motorstorm game would have done pretty well on PS4, but, oh well. They are really good. Here we have Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriot in a slip case for some reason. Some games just used to come with slip cases, I don't know why. Great game though, if you haven't played it, definitely check it out. I consider it the last great Metal Gear Solid game. I didn't like Metal Gear Solid 5 that much, I didn't get into Revengeance. And the Metal Gear Survival, or whatever it was called, was apparently really, really bad. But Metal Gear Solid 4 has a great story, awesome gameplay, a lot of awesome set pieces, characters are awesome. The last cutscene in the game is like a movie in itself, it's like 2 hours long, but it's worth playing through the whole game. Monster Madness Gravedigger, this is a pretty rare game, believe it or not. I've not really played much of this. I think it's kind of like a mini-game thing, but I don't know. Ninja Gaiden 2, I have a lot of Ninja Gaiden games for the PS3. They're not ordered, unfortunately, but hey, those are the last of the M's, now we're doing N. Ninja Gaiden 2, I have some other ones somewhere. I'm pretty sure I have Ninja Gaiden 3, and I do have Yaiba Ninja Gaiden. Well, it's definitely worth the price of admission. No More Heroes, Heroes Paradise on PS3. This is a like upscaled version of the Wii game. You can use the PlayStation Move controllers for these. And it's just the Wii game. You play as Travis, and you go through these levels, and you kill enemies, and you find these crazy bosses, and you fight them and kill them. It's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. I've played this one, and also Travis Strikes Back, which I also really liked. I need to play the second one at some point. Whew, 36 minutes. Now we're doing these. The rest of the ends. Here we go, here's some other Ninja Gaiden games. Ninja Gaiden Sigma. And Ninja Gaiden 3. I understand Razor's Edge is also on PS3, which is like an updated version, but I'm cool with these ones. I think Ninja Gaiden 3 wasn't loved that much when it came out, but Ninja Gaiden Sigma is supposed to be a pretty good game. I honestly don't really know the difference between them. For distribution outside the UK only, huh? That's weird. Let's not take this to the UK, babe. We'll get arrested. We will. Said for distribution outside the UK only. Get into the jam with NBA Jam. Any version of NBA Jam is good. I don't think there's ever been a bad port or version of NBA Jam. And this is no exception. It's basketball, it's arcade fun, it's always worth playing. A bunch of Naruto games. I showed one before, these are a few others. I'm sure I'm missing one or two. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolutions, and Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2, and I have Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 up there. And I have like 4 Naruto games for PS2 as well. They're all the same thing, you know. Some of them are kind of 2D fighters, others are you're on a 3D plane, but they're all roughly the same. I do like Naruto though, it's a fun series. You know, ninjas going around, they have like magical powers, it's fun. Nier. I don't remember, but this game might have been getting a remaster. It's a good game, really, really good game. I remember when this came out, it got a bunch of great fanfare, it sold pretty well, and then there was just no talk about it until suddenly they announced like Nier Automata. And then Nier Automata, kind of a similar deal. It came out, sold really well, and now there's not much talk of it. Until we get the next Nier game, I guess. But the interesting aspect of this game, you have to play through it 3 times to unlock the full story. You do get a lot of the story in the first playthrough, but you have to unlock everything to get all of it. I only played through it the once, and then I just looked up the rest of it online. Like, the rest of the gameplay is, or the rest of the story is like 10 or 15 cutscenes. So I was like, if you just watch the cutscenes, you'll be fine. Awesome game though. Naughty Bear? This is a weird one. I have no idea why this game was released. You play as a bear, like a teddy bear, going around killing other teddy bears. It's weird. Very weird. I have a bunch of Need for Speed games. Not the biggest fan of Need for Speed, but I do have quite a number of them. Still not done. Here we go. Eat. Need for Speed Undercover, Need for Speed Shift, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, and Need for Speed The Run. The Run was probably my favorite Need for Speed game. It's because it had like a nice cool story. You were always on the run in this like in this race around America. Whew. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Not a great game, but it's pretty good. I think the sequel is supposed to be better. I played a decent amount of this, you know, maybe like 10 hours before I stopped playing. It looks a lot like a Studio Ghibli film, which is why a lot of people paid attention to it back when it was released. And it sold pretty well. Plays a bit like a live-action Pokemon kind of game. My wife would probably like it. Nailed! You're on ATVs. National Geographic Challenge. I bought this brand new for $3. It was back when I was just trying to get random PS3 games. I mean, it's a co-op. You have to be smart to play it. Yeah. Next set here. And let's put these back up. There we go. The last N here. Never Dead. I really liked this game. You can get it for like $5. It's not a great game, but it is fun to play. You play as a guy who can't die, and the only way you can get a game over is if like an enemy swallows your head and you're just digested by them. But otherwise, when an enemy attacks you, like one of your limbs will usually go flying off, and it's fun. I like it. Definitely worth giving a go. It's made by Rebellion. Great game studio. They made the Warriors game. Not too many games in the O's here. You have Overlord, Raising Hell. This comes with the expansion pack, and Overlord 2. The Overlord games are interesting. They're another series that, they were on the PS3 and then they just never made any others. You play as the Overlord and you control like these little minions who do all of your bidding. It's interesting. Worth sitting down and playing. Of Orcs and Men, I've not played this one. I think it's supposed to be pretty good. Kind of a Dark Souls style game, maybe? I don't know. We'll play it one of these days. Haven't sat down and played all of these yet, unfortunately. We have Prototype 2 and the original Prototype. I really enjoyed these. There were a lot of people who didn't like them because they thought they were a bit too, dark-sided, I guess. Like, they didn't like that there wasn't a fun story to play through, but I liked them. Especially the first one. The second one was basically just more of the same. But if you like the first one, the second one is worth checking out. Especially nowadays that they're worth, like, nothing. In a steelbook. In a slipcase. Prince of Persia and Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. I have the Prince of Persia trilogy somewhere as well, but it's probably on the other shelf, It's just how it is. This game was very different from the other Prince of Persia games in that you could not die. I feel like if it got released these days, it would be liked a bit more, but people didn't like it a whole lot back in the day. It also had a very cartoony graphic style, which actually makes it still stand out and look good to this day. And Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands was just another Prince of Persia game. Most of them are pretty much the same. You do parkour, you run around, you fight enemies. Portal 2, great game. Great game. I love this game. I played the first Portal game for the first time while I was in social isolation. After I had arrived back from Vietnam, and I made a review on it that nobody watched. But Portal 2 was actually the first game me and my wife played together, like, fully. And it was a lot of fun. Persona 4 Arena. This is a fighting game based in the Persona 4 universe. It's okay. It's another anime fighter. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I actually really like this game. It is Smash Brothers, It's a very shameless ripoff, but it is still a lot of fun. And if you sit down and play it, you will probably have fun with it. Painkiller: Hell and Damnation. I'm not sure if this game is rare, but I definitely never see it out and about. It features 2 of the Painkiller games, and it's a great game. It's a first-person shooter where it's a lot like Doom. It takes a lot of inspiration from Doom, but you're fighting more of the creatures of the night, so it'd be. I definitely recommend it. It's a great game. Coming up to the last of the P's here. Pain! This is the one you... Apologies for the interruption, I just got some more birthday wishes. Seems like people actually remember my birthday this year, which is nice. Usually people don't remember too much. But we have Pain on the PlayStation 3. This is an interesting game. It was originally released as a downloadable only title on the PlayStation Network, but it got a physical release. I think I paid like $5, $6 for my copy. You throw characters using a slingshot at buildings and it destroys them. That's pretty much it. Oh, hold on. They can go there. I want to get through this row today. The last game, the P's. The Puppeteer. This plays a lot like a Little Big Planet level, but it's much bigger than a Little Big Planet level. It's a full game where you play as a puppet and you're going through this world. It's 21 levels. It's really fun. You're like on a stage and you're like in a theater production. I really enjoy it. It's definitely worth playing. Whew. Actually, these need to go down here. Hold on. Yeah. Bit of live collection maintenance. I will not edit that out. My only Q game. Quantum Theory. It sucks. It's like Gears of War, but really, really crummy. Oh yeah, I do have another game in the P section. Here we go. Prison Break, The Conspiracy. This is a really rare game. I just noticed the dude on the cover doing like the 10-year-old thing where you make your muscles look bigger by like pressing your hands against them. People look so stupid when they do that. But yeah, this is based on Prison Break. I've never seen the show. Start with the R's. Remember Me, this was released by Capcom. It's an action game, like beat 'em up, but you can really customize your way of combat. Like you can string together different punches, different kicks based on different button combinations, and you can go into the menus and create all new combinations. It's pretty good. The story's pretty fun. Like you go in and you mess with people's minds. It's interesting. It's not a great game though. Worth playing once. Ridge Racer 7. I'm sure there's another Ridge Racer game on this system. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I probably have another one, but if you just want to play one, Ridge Racer 7 is one. You know, classic kind of arcade style racer. It is very fun. I think this was one of the early releases for the system as well, released in 2007. Where's my other Resident Evil game? Here's the other Resident Evil games. Oh yeah, I do have another Ridge Racer game. I knew I did. Ridge Racer Unbounded, limited edition. I don't know what makes it special. But there you go. There are a lot of Resident Evil games on this system. I definitely have one more somewhere. We'll find it, might be on the other shelf. Resident Evil Revelations 2, not sure why it says box set on it, but it does. Awesome game. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, not a great game. I remember playing this at a convention that I went to actually. Back when I used to go to conventions for stuff, they had a giant display for it, and I remember playing it and thinking, it's okay. But it wasn't that great. Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. This one comes in a nice steelbook, which is nice. This is the one where you play as the African lady, and you can get a DLC where she wears the tribal gear. It's a bit rough, but Resident Evil 6 has a monkey giving a giraffe a blowjob. That's all I can say about those games. They're not great. You know, they had a chance to make them really good, but they could never capitalize on it. It wasn't until Resident Evil Revelations where I got back into what made the series good. Oh hey, there's another game for the P. Payday 2, I didn't even notice that. Good game. You play like bank robbers. It's pretty fun. One of the worst games on the system, Ride to Hell Retribution. The 1% represents the Metacritic score it got, probably. It's not a good game at all. It is awful. I remember seeing this game when it came out and thinking, oh, is this like a Road Rash? And it's not at all. It's terrible. Rage, from the makers of Doom and Quake, not great, but it did have some cool things going for it. It's in a post-apocalyptic world. It's super short. You use this cool weapon that's like a deadly boomerang. I think they call it the glaive. Red Faction Armageddon. I have Red Faction Guerrilla somewhere as well. But Red Faction Armageddon is not a great game by any means. It's like they took everything cool by Red Faction Guerrilla, which is the open world destruction, and they just ruined it. Chronicles of Riddick, Assault on Dark Athena. I have this in a thin case, it's just how it came. It's an ex-rental, so it's like glued in there. But I have it. Good game. I've not beaten it, but I've put a good amount of time in it. Putting is not a word. It is a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. Whew. Let's do some maintenance here. That's a little bit better. Next game here is Ruin Factory Oceans. It's supposed to be a bit like Harvest Moon, I think. No, not at all, actually. It looks more like an RPG. I have no idea. I've never played it. Rogue Warrior, it's okay. I played it for like a couple hours. It's very, very edgy. Your dude is like a bit of a wimp. Like overcompensation, you know. It's a rebellion game though. There's Red Faction Guerrilla. Pow! Red Faction Guerrilla, awesome game. Definitely recommend playing it. But not Red Faction Armageddon. Let's put them together. I don't even think I talked about this one. Renko Tsukigimi's Longest Day, also known as Short Peace. This is a game where if you buy it, you're getting a Blu-ray movie and a Blu-ray video game. It's very, very interesting. The video game isn't that much to talk about. You can beat it in about 2 hours. You run through these levels as fast as you can, and you defeat enemies, and you're just trying to run through as fast as you can. It's a lot like a Sonic game. And then you do like a weird boss fight every now and again. It's not great, but the animation video is really, really good. And there's never been something like this where it's like a video game and a movie in one go. Like, you can watch them completely independent of each other. Like, if you go into the game, you're in the game. If you choose to watch it as a movie, you go into it as a movie, and there's 5 little movies on there. And A Farewell to Weapons is the best one. Oh, but Gumbo is also very good. And Possessions was also very good. I enjoy all of them. I'll put that here. The Ratchet & Clank games. Ratchet & Clank Q-Force was like tower defense. Ratchet & Clank Nexus I never played. Ratchet & Clank All for One I remember being very disappointing. Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time and Tools of Destruction, awesome games. Definitely recommend checking them out. I'm not sure why they've not made many more Ratchet & Clank games. I mean, there's 5 on this system, and to my knowledge, there's like 1 on the PlayStation 4, so maybe the one on PS4 didn't sell very well. I understand it was a remake of the first one, and it was based on a movie, so take that information and use it as you would. An interesting game here, Rise of the Argonauts. I have reason to believe this is one of the worst selling games of all time. You look up like sales figures and it's in like the 10,000 kind of range, so it is an incredibly rare game, but it's not one that anyone cares about. So it's very, very cheap. Fun game though. If you've not played it, definitely give it a go. It's a cool little action RPG. Rambo, the video game, awful game. It's kind of like a light gun game, and you can use the move to make it more like a light gun game, but it's just so boring. It's like static images, you're not going anywhere, and you shoot enemies as they pop up. It's like, if they made this game super, super cheap, I'd believe them. It's not fun at all. Ratatouille, though, is a lot of fun. I definitely recommend this one. It is a lot of fun. Hey, a rat took a bite out of the damn case. Alright, let's get these back up there. I think I can fit one more there. Yep. I showed Resistance 2 before. Now we have Resistance and Resistance 3. Resistance is a very, very good game. I've not played Resistance 3 yet. You can get it in a cool steel cover, which I would like to get, I think. But other than that, I don't know much about it. But in Resistance, you play as a guy who is fighting aliens during World War II, and they're trying to take over the world. It's a lot of fun. I did a review of it. You should check it out. Let's see, where's the other one? Let's keep them all together. There we go. Skate. I showed Skate 2 before. We also have Skate and Skate 3. Not sure why these ones have weird price tags on them. Let's just take them off. I definitely did not pay that much for the Skate games. Probably paid like $5 for these each. And they're very enjoyable. This is like a display one, so I'm not really sure too much about it. Yeah, for display purposes only. But I bought it in a store, so obviously someone sold it. They're fun. They're more simulation than the Tony Hawk's games. They are very fun. They should make a new one. Resonance of Fate. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 13, but made by a different developer, and you can use guns. It's not a great game. Star Trek. This one is pretty okay. It's a third-person shooter set in the Star Trek movie universe. I enjoyed it for what it was, although I can see why people didn't enjoy it. The two Saint Seiya games. Sanctuary Battle and Brave Soldiers. These used to be pretty expensive, but now they're not worth anything. They're just, 3D action games set in the Saint Seiya universes. Kind of fighting games. They're not great. I think this one's more of a fighting game, while this one's more of an action game from memory. Although, honestly, I don't remember too much about them. I'm not knowledgeable on the Saint Seiya universe. Spec Ops The Line is the one I am knowledgeable on. Great game. It's based on Heart of Darkness, but updated for modern times. If you're looking for a first-person shooter where you have to think a bit more, definitely check it out. It is worth playing. You're going through and you're killing these terrorists, and it's well, by the end of the game you kind of figure something out. It's not everything is what it seems. It plays it pretty straight for most of the game though. You're thinking yeah, it's just another generic action game, but then by the end when it does a twist, it's really good. And the last game here, Super Street Fighter 4. I don't have much to say about that one. Alright, next shelf. We are continuing with the PlayStation 3 collection video. We are finally on the bottom shelf here, and I've been filming this for a week now. I'm sick of thinking about it. I just want to get this video out there. It's gonna take a bloody week to upload because of all of the stuff I filmed. It's probably going to be a 3-hour video. I don't blame anyone for not watching this. Alright. At least this one will be a bit easier to get through. Might as well start at the top and then show the bottom ones next, because I can just pull these out easy. But then I'm going out of order. It doesn't matter at all. Time Shift. This was one of the first games I got for my Xbox 360 when I originally bought it. I also have it on PS3. Good game. You mess around with time and stuff. First-person shooter. It's fun. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. You can get this for under $30 right now. I assume it will not be that price forever. Just based on a hunch. Intuition, if you will, but awesome collection of games. I've not played Dawn of the New World yet. I believe that was only on the Wii until they released it here. And obviously Tales of Symphonia, a GameCube exclusive until they announced they were releasing it for PS3. Both excellent games. Good action RPGs. Twisted Metal. I believe there's a cool version of this that comes like a steel tin. I would like to get it, but this is also a great version of the game. Terminator Salvation. This is... I enjoy it. It's a third-person shooter set in the Terminator world, so it can't be that bad. I enjoyed it. I have a second copy of Thief, apparently. Tekken 6. Good fighting game. I enjoy playing as the wrestler character. Tomb Raider Trilogy. This has Tomb Raider Legend, Underworld, and Anniversary. Awesome set. You can get this for like $15 shipped. Or at least under 20. Just 3 great games that are definitely worth playing still. Unreal Tournament U, I'm not very familiar on this one. I know the Unreal Tournament games, but I don't know much about this one. I hope it's not online only. It says 1 player, so I assume there's a single player campaign. The Uncharted games. Yeah. Man, that glare is bad. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, the Special Edition. Great game, but the main bad guy is like an immortal. Uncharted 2, the regular and the limited collector's edition. I like to get like the collector's editions of games that I enjoy. Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Uncharted 4 was probably the best one, but number 2 is also very good. Number 1 is good too. And the regular copy of Uncharted 3. I have a few UFC games. This is UFC Undisputed 3 and UFC Undisputed 2009. I don't have UFC Undisputed 2 though. This has Pride fighters in it, which is just awesome because Pride just had the greatest array of weird dudes. I think you can play as Kazushi Sakuraba in this one, which is just, it's awesome. Under Night, In Birth, I've never played it. Vampire Reign, Altered Species. I remember early on in the Xbox 360 and PS3's lifespan, this was touted as being a very, very bad game, but also being an interesting game. The PS3 version of this used to be expensive for some reason, but now it's dirt cheap. And obviously not very good. Valkyria Chronicles. I don't know if the second one is also on PS3, but I would like to get it if it is. Good game. It's a strategy RPG. Set like a alternate version of World War II. Viking Battle for Asgard. I've not played too much of it. It looks a lot like God of War. Vanquish. I love this game. Although I often confuse this with the other sci-fi third-person shooter that I showed before. I actually forgot what it's called. But Vanquish is awesome. I like it. It's a very good game. I definitely recommend it. It's very, very fast-paced. Vin Diesel Wheelman. I was looking for this game forever. I played this originally back in like 2012. When I went down to New South Wales, the person I was staying with rented a PlayStation 3 for us, and we played the Wheelman on it. Or it might have been 2010, I don't remember. I think it was 2010. But this game was really fun. You can like dive from car to car, and if your car's about to blow up, you can just like leap out into another car. It's crazy. Where the Wild Things are on a list of why did this get a video game games. More wrestling games. WWE 13, WWE 2K14, and an actually really good one, WWE All-Stars. This one is like an arcade style game. It's pretty fun. I like it more than the simulation style games. I forget if Legends of WrestleMania is on the PS3, I don't remember. The Way of the Samurai games, number 3 and number 4. These games are cool because you can beat them in like 2 hours, and then you can go back again and beat them in another 2 hours. It's a singular story that doesn't take long to beat, but there's many, many ways to go about it within the game. It's very interesting. There aren't really any other games like Way of the Samurai. I still remember in the first one, you can beat the game in 2 minutes by choosing to just leave the town as soon as you arrive. Wet. It's a third-person shooter. Not played it enough to have an opinion on it. The Walking Dead Telltale series. Complete first season, plus 400 days. Alright. I've not played it. Actually, this might be one that I've played. I think I've seen a gameplay of this. You play as a black guy and he befriends a young Asian girl. And you protect her from zombies. I think her name is Clementine. It's been a long time since I played a lot of these. Wolfenstein: The New Order. Good game, obviously. You kill Nazis. I mean, that's something everyone loves to do. Something that everyone should like to do. You making quack sounds? You're playing Untitled Goose Game. Why Night Chronicles? If you have the second game, you also have this game, but I also have this game. If that makes sense. Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z Special Edition. I don't know what's special about it, but this is a very special game in that it is very stylized and very not like any other Ninja Gaiden game. I'm actually not sure why this was called Ninja Gaiden. You do play as a ninja, but you kill zombies in this game. Yakuza Dead Souls and Yakuza 4, both in their steel tins. These steel tin copies of Yakuza 4 are crazy expensive now. I believe I sold one back in the... not back in the day, but a few years ago for like $80. And now they're worth even more than that. And Yakuza Dead Souls, which isn't worth much, but it is a very good game. Very good game. Oh, I also have, speaking of Yakuza 4... the pre-order box, the Ichiban box, which comes with like a noodle bowl and a calendar with sexy women in it. I believe it was a pre-order bonus, but the game at EB Games, to pre-order it, was like $40 more than any other place. I ended up getting that box in an op shop for like $10, which was my buy-in price. I'm gonna turn on the light. There we go, now we can see until I actually start to show games again. Oh, that's alright. Actually, that looks really good. Wanted, Weapons of Fate. This is a really fun game based on a really bad movie based on a horrendously bad comic book. Very fun game though. You can shoot bullets and then like arch them so they hit enemies behind walls. It's cool. Warriors, Legends of Troy. Another Koei title. Which basically just means it's another Dynasty Warriors game. Come on, guys. Wonder Book, Diggs Nightcrawler. I paid $1 for that. I do have the Wonder Book, like the Book of Spells dealio that it came with. I think that was like $5 brand new. Some store was trying to clearance them out. Just get rid of them. Please get rid of them. Wolf Among Us, a Telltale game series. This is a really good game based on an even better comic book. Definitely recommend this one. I don't remember if they made a season 2, but they were going to before Telltale folded. But it's good. Very, very good. You play as the big bad wolf, but you're like a detective, and all of the like fairy tale characters are in this like seedy city. It's weird. It's fun. Worth playing. X-Men Wolverine Uncaged Edition. Excellent game. Excellent game. Really, really good movie game. One of the better ones, actually. It's just a hack and slash game. Like, it's pretty generic for a hack and slash game, but as a movie game, like, you really feel like an invincible Wolverine in this. It's awesome. Super Bloody 2, which is something that a lot of people who watched the movie complained about. It was like, you can't have a Wolverine movie without it being bloody and gritty, you know? XCOM Enemy Unknown. Good game. Strategy game. It's, I kind of like a strategy RPG. If you say strategy RPG, then people think like Final Fantasy Tactics, but it's not really like Final Fantasy Tactics. Has permadeath though, which is always fun. Zone of the Enders HD Collection. I believe I have all of the HD collections for the PlayStation 3. They're just some things I like to have. This comes with Zone of the Enders 1 and 2. Don't ask me why they released these games. I don't think they were all that popular. I think the first game sold pretty well. Neither of them went platinum hits though, so I don't know. Everything got a HD remaster on PS3. Come on. Arno Surge, Ode to an Unborn Star. It's an RPG. And that's all I know. Hey, I have a second copy of Disgaea 3. I'll put that into the for sale pile. G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. I've not played enough of it to form a great opinion, but it seemed fun from what I played. Deadpool, very fun game. My former roommate really liked this game. He had it on Xbox One, I think. They released this on just about everything. It's a very silly game, third-person shooter. It's not got great production value, but it does have a lot of charm. There are a lot of Spider-Man games on PS3, and I'm actually missing one called Web of Dimensions. I'm currently bidding on it on PS3, and by the time this video is uploaded, it will probably be in my possession or not in my possession. We shall see. But this one is interesting. You play as different versions of Spider-Man. You play as like a future one, a noir Spider-Man. It's really cool. In each one, you have to play a little bit differently. Cross Edge. Is this another fighting game? It looks like Disgaea. Interesting. Tales of Xillia. I also have Tales of Xillia 2. So I'll show those both. This is in the nice Steelbook, Day 1 edition. I don't think it's worth any more than the original edition. All of the RPGs on PS3 are pretty cheap, so you might as well get them now while they are cheap. Eternal Sonata, a game that's very easy to find on Xbox 360, pretty hard to find on PS3. This is like a grid-based RPG. It's pretty good. The story's a bit funky, but you know RPGs, they're not all about the story. They're about the experience of playing them. Fairy Fencer F, not played it. Anything I say about this is based on I don't know. Tales of Zestria, bonus content edition. There's a lot of editions for the PS3. I don't know, man. It's another Tales of game. There are really good Tales of games, but most of them are pretty similar to each other. I might as well put them all together, though. There we go. And we'll put them where they actually belong, in the T section. Look at that, live collection maintenance. The collection gets better and better with every passing second. Young Justice Legacy. It's very strange that this TV show got a game because I think it only ran for a single season and wasn't popular at all. Good game though. Soul Calibur 4. You can play as Darth Vader in this one. That's pretty much why I have it. Ultra Street Fighter 4. It's Street Fighter. And Wipeout HD Fury, which is a game that I did not know existed until I found a copy of it. I think I paid a bit much for it, but I did pay less than what it was going for at the time. It's 2 Wipeout games. I think this is the only Wipeout game on PS3. Okay, let's start showing this stuff. I did not make it easy. I should have put all of this top stuff aside. This is going to be hell to try and get this out. Saints Row 4. Saints Row Get Out of Hell. We're doing alright. Saints Row 2. Oh, now it's starting to fall. And Saints Row 3. So Saints Row 2 was probably the best one, but Saints Row 3 is also really good, and obviously Saints Row 4 and Get Out of Hell are completely crazy. The only way I can describe these is they are very fast-paced open-world games. You're going from mission to mission incredibly quickly. I don't think any mission is more than 10 minutes long. But it is very mindless fun, so if you enjoy those kind of games, definitely check them out. I'm sure everyone out there already knows about them. And knows that they're worth playing. Let's see if I can get these back in. Yeah. E. This is great content, people. I couldn't get them back in. You know what? The top layer can become the bottom layer. Watch what I'll do. I'll just let them drop, and the top layer will become the bottom layer. Sleeping Dogs, awesome game. Another very fast-paced open world game. It's based on the what is it? It's based on a series of PS2 games. I don't remember them too well, but Sleeping Dogs is a lot of fun. Sonic Generations. I also have other Sonic games. Where are they? Here we go. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic All-Stars Races Transformed. There we go. 3 Sonic games there. I also have Sonic Unleashed, but we will find that later along as we go along, I guess. I definitely do have the game somewhere because I have played it. Sonic Generations is very good. Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously very well known as being a awful game, but there is some fun to be had with it. Just go in knowing that it's awful. And Sonic All-Stars Racing Transform. What's the time, my love? I love Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. Okay. This is not going as well as I hoped it would. Yeah. Yeah. The Simpsons game. I enjoy this game. My wife also really enjoys this game. Don't you, babe? Yeah. It's a very fun game. Definitely worth playing. I believe it's a pretty expensive game for the PlayStation 3 as well, so if you find a copy on the cheap, good job, I guess. Damn it. It was going really well, and then it wasn't. Okay, hold on. There, now it's even again. The Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. This has just about every Mega Drive game you really want to play on it. Doesn't have a whole lot of, like, hidden gem games, though. There's no, what's that game called? The Sonic clone, I don't remember its name. Something of Senti armor. John Woo presents Stranglehold. This is pretty much Max Payne before Max Payne was released. It's very, very good. I definitely recommend playing it. Just know that it came out before Max Payne 3 and it's not as good. John Woo movies are great though. Love John Woo movies. Yeah. We have the 2 Saw games on PlayStation 3. Neither of these are very good, but they are games based on a franchise that I like. Uncut version. I have no idea what that means. But we have them. They're kind of generic. Yeah, if you told me they weren't a Saw game, but they were just like a generic horror game, I'd probably believe you. I'd also ask why you're talking to me about those games. Oh wait, that wasn't the plan at all. The plan is to let these fall. This is the worst collection video ever from a production standpoint. Why don't I just take these off the shelf? Let's use our brains here. We don't do it often, but every now and again. Ugh. God damn it. Alright, Shaun White skateboarding. It's also a Shaun White snowboarding game for some reason. I guess the dude's known for both. The 3 Silent Hill games on this system. None of them are very good, unfortunately. Silent Hill Homecoming, Silent Hill Downpour, and Silent Hill HD Collection. Now, if you don't know the story of the HD Collection, it was actually a set of betas that they used to program the collection from, not the full released game, so it's pretty rough. And Homecoming and Downpour are just soulless. Simple as that. The way I'm doing this doesn't work. I need 2 piles here. Singularity, awesome game, first-person shooter where you get a bunch of wacky and cool, abilities. It's definitely worth playing. I recommend it a lot. This is one I was looking for a while before I found it, which generally is what happens when you look for something. You know what? All of these can come off. Making a big leaning tower here. There we go. Star Ocean, The Last Hope International Edition. I paid $5 for this years ago. I'm talking years and years. Back when you had to sign a form to buy a game from JB Hi-Fi, if anyone remembers that. I haven't actually played it. Supremacy MMA, I like to throw in an MMA game every now and again. It's just fun to throw fists every now and again in a video game setting. Female MMA fighters, like it's a feature now. Hey, back in like 2010 it was. I don't think it has any licensed characters though. Super Street Fighter 4, the arcade edition, huh? I definitely have a copy of that. That's going in the for sale pile. Shadows of the Damned, awesome game. I really like the Shadows of the... I really like Shadows of the Damned. I really like Grasshopper Manufacturers. That's what I was thinking. They've created some other awesome games like No More Heroes. This one is referenced in No More Heroes, or the sequel to No More Heroes. It's cool. You have a gun that talks. And you kill demons. Spider-Man 3, this is a movie game. It's pretty good. Not as good as some other Spider-Man games. Like Spider-Man 2 will always be the top tier Spider-Man game, but other than that, that one's pretty good. Syndicate. I don't think you can legally own this game in Australia, but I own it. Actually, I think you can own it. I don't think you can sell it. I think that's I don't know. I have it. It's not very good. For some reason, they decided to create a sequel to Syndicate from 1996, but they made it a soulless first-person shooter. Starhawk. Great game. I really enjoy it, but there's no real reason to get it anymore because you can play a single-player mode, but you need it for the big battles, and you can't get big battles in this game anymore. Shift 2 Unleash, it's a Need for Speed game. Stormrise, interesting game. It's a, what was it? I think it's a real-time strategy Star game. I didn't play it much, but I did play it enough to understand that I would not want to play it anymore. Soldier of Fortune Payback, I really love the first Soldier of Fortune game. When I was burning discs for my Dreamcast, for some reason I put in Soldier of Fortune, like a burnt copy, and just played it for like 4 hours. I just really enjoyed it, and this is also very fun. Sacred 3, the first edition. I have Sacred 2 somewhere. I haven't played really any of them. Street Fighter X Tekken. It plays more like Street Fighter than it does Tekken, so I don't enjoy it that much. I'm much more of a Tekken person because I can just button mash and hope that I win. The Shoot. This is a light gun game on the PlayStation 3. It uses the PlayStation Move, and you need the PlayStation Move to play these, so... Oddly enough, like, all of the PlayStation Move games are really cheap, but the PlayStation Move is very expensive because it's used with the VR. Soul Calibur 5. I believe you can play as Ezio in this? Yeah, someone from Assassin's Creed. It's cool that they put in like a pop culture character in every Soul Calibur game. I remember you could play as Link in Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube. Skylanders, Shell Shock 2, Blood Trails. I believe this game is also illegal to sell in this country, but it is a game by Rebellion, which is a studio that I like. It's a weird one. The first Shell Shock game is just a kind of generic Vietnam game, but this one has zombies, so it's worth owning. Siren Blood Curse, I've never gotten really into these games. I can appreciate that they're doing something very interesting and very different from other horror games, but I cannot wrap my head around them at all. I cannot avoid enemies, I cannot progress, I suck at these games. Star Wars, The Force Unleashed 2. This is a great game, but it's only like 3 hours long. I definitely recommend playing it because the graphics are really good and it's a very good Star Wars game, but it's just too short. And back when they released it, it was like $100. Nowadays you can get it for like $10, so like $10 is a good buy-in price. SSX, I don't know why they didn't make more of this series. They're all fantastic. There are no bad SSX games. It's just something so fun to snowboarding down a mountain. It's a very simple activity, but it's very fun. Especially when they play that like that 90s Tony Hawk's music, then it takes you back. Coming up to the end of the first shelf, thank God. Splatterhouse, very good, but very long for what it is. It's about as long as God of War 3, but it just doesn't have the lasting appeal of God of War 3. You know, once you get over the fact that you're playing as this, like, beast man who just rips his opponents to shreds, it's like, it gets kind of boring after a while, which, for what it is, it's kind of weird that it gets boring. But it's okay. South Park The Stick of Truth, a very linear style RPG, but it is very fun. Just go in knowing that it is a South Park game and it has all of the classic South Park tropes. And maybe you'll enjoy it. SOCOM Special Forces. This takes full advantage of the PlayStation Move. I don't think anyone really played it. I know I didn't. I saw a video of someone on YouTube who was like the single best player of this in the world, but that was back in 2018. To think that there were people still playing this game back then is insane to think about. But it's pretty fun. It's a kind of Gears of War style game set in the Warhammer 40k universe. It's worth playing. I remember I introduced my friend to that game and he thought it was really cool. The Saboteur. I enjoy this game. It's made by Pandemic, which is another really good studio for games. Definitely check them out and give them some support. Alternate version of World War II. You're in France, Paris, I think. It's an open world game, and you do a lot of sabotage. I mean, if you want to explore France in World War II, and there is no one on this planet who does not want to do that, check this out. You want to explore France in World War II? You do. I'm talking like pre-invasion, you know? No, she doesn't want to do it. Tom Clancy's Hawks and Hawks 2. I don't own many of the Tom Clancy games. Actually, here's another one. There, those are the 3 Tom Clancy games I own. Hawks is okay. Flight sim, pretty fun. You do flight sim stuff. Tron Evolution, I enjoyed this game. I really liked the movie back when it came out. It's a pretty good game. You basically just buy it for the light cycle segments, and that's pretty much all you really need to buy it for. There is a lot of fun to be had with it, though. It's also very cheap. Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, I have very, very rarely see copies of this. Even in like dedicated game stores, it's very rare to see copies of this game. Very low sell numbers. It was not something that appealed to Western audiences. It's set up into 2 sections. The first section is a visual novel where you go and talk to characters. It's very linear. Most of what you're doing is pressing A and reading. And the second part of it is a strategy RPG with minimalist graphics. You could probably run the second part of this game on a calculator. And I'm not making that up. You definitely could. It's interesting though, because you battle ghosts, and like different ghosts have different abilities, and there's different things you have to do to defeat them. If you just bomb rush every single one, you'll just get annihilated. It gets very difficult until you figure out what to do. Definitely check this out if you do find a copy. It's a very unique game. I can't think of any other games that are really like it. Tekken Tag Tournament Zoo. I said Tekken Tag Tournament Zoo. I mean, that would have been a way better game, babe, I'm saying. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Australia and New Zealand edition. It's in a nice steel case. It being the Australian and New Zealand edition basically means nothing. Tears to Tiara 2, Heir of the Overlord. I think I've seen like 2 copies of this in my life, and one of the times I saw it, I bought it. It was like $18 or something. I've never played it. I don't know, man. Never even heard of the first game. The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn, which is actually a really good game. I remember playing a demo for this when I went to a convention once, back when I used to go to conventions, and I was really, really impressed by it, because it's not just a generic movie game, it's a side-scroller. You do platforming, you do beat-em-up, and you do a bit of adventuring. It's awesome! Tales of Grace's F. I believe I paid $15 or $20 for this from one of my mates at the market. Back when he used to set up, and back when I used to go. No one goes to those bloody markets anymore. It's a waste of your life. But this is a special edition. It comes with special edition stuff. And Tales of Graces is another Tales game. And it fell down. Two Worlds 2. I don't believe the first Two Worlds game is on PS3. I think it's only on Xbox 360. But this one is. I haven't played it. The Witch and the Hundred Knight. I believe this game got a sequel, but I don't remember exactly. It's a really cool game. It's like a live-action dungeon crawler style thing. It's very fun. Very good action RPG. Definitely recommend checking it out. I mean, everyone who I know has played this game really, really enjoys it. Transformers Fall of Cybertron. I have the other Transformers games, but I believe they are on the other shelf. which I will be showing later. This is an awesome game. The Transformers games on the PlayStation 3 are generally all good to great. They're also very short, so very palatable, and they're super cheap. I believe some of them are co-op as well, but not that one. Trinity Universe, I don't know much about it at all, I fear. I don't know, it's got the Disgaea characters on the back of it. Time Crisis Raging Storm, which also includes Time Crisis 4 and Dead Storm Pirates. If you have the PlayStation Move, this is probably the best game for it, as well as House of the Dead. It's pretty much must own if you have a PlayStation Move and a PlayStation 3. 3 games on one disc. Dead Storm Pirates is amazing. You just go around shooting skeletons. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better. And holy crap, the last game on this fucking shelf. Watchmen The End Is Nigh, Parts 1 and 2. I just sold a copy of this on the Xbox 360, but the PS3 copy stays with me. It's a good game, beat 'em up style. The beat 'em up action is interesting because it's very slow paced and you have to time your shots a lot. It is good, I enjoy it. It's also couch co-op. Alright. I'm going to bed, and maybe tomorrow we'll film the next shelf. Finally, at long last, the final shelf of PlayStation 3 stuff. I'll try to go through all of this in one go. So a lot of this stuff is stuff that I got after my initial collection phase of the PS3. Like, I went through my PS3 collection and went, oh, I don't have that game, and I then sorted out. Had a big list of stuff I need. There's only a few games I'm still after for the PS3. The ones I know off the top of my head are Clive Barker's Jericho and Spiderman Web of Shadows. I don't know which other ones I need. Actually, if you guys know any other games that I need, do let me know. We have Megamind Ultimate Showdown. Ooh, I've got a good idea. My wife bought those. She thinks it's hilarious to just leave them in places. And we found that in the UK. Fossils. It was on the ground. Kung Fu Panda. Madagascar 3. Like, these kids games, they are pretty fun. Lego Harry Potter years 5 through 7. Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. Unfortunately, the last Sly Cooper game, and I'm not sure why. This one was not made by Insomniac Games, unfortunately. I think Insomniac were the ones that made the Sly Cooper games, but it is still very good. There's my copy of Sonic Unleashed. I knew I had a copy. Good game. I feel like people are much more friendly towards this game now that other Sonic games have come out. Nailed. It's an ATV racing game. They're silly fun. This is Tokyo Jungle. You can get this game really, really cheap right now. Like, I'm talking less than $15 shipped internationally cheap. Definitely grab it because it is a awesome game. You play as an animal and you're surviving in a city. The Borderlands triple pack, Borderlands 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. Yeah, it makes me wonder why I have the other Borderlands games. Hey, I do have this special edition of Resistance 3, so I have 2 copies of Resistance 3. This one's in a nice steel tin. I always like these ones. They just look nice. And hey, if you see them for $5, you're not going broke over $5. Atelier, Escher, and Logi? I think that's it. Alchemist of the Dusk Sky. These Atelier games, they're very similar. It's a lot of item crafting, a lot of alchemy. Also, Atelier Totori and Atelier Rona. I almost said Corona. Shows where my mind's at. Oh, and Atelier Chalet. I believe the only one I'm missing is a collection pack, which I don't need it. It's one of those ones, if I find it cheap, I'll grab it. The Darkness, great little game. You can get this super cheap as well, and it's definitely worth getting. Based on a comic book. Doom BFG edition. For some reason this comes in a slipcover. It doesn't need a slipcover, but it's got one. I don't really know how to feel about slipcovers. They don't really add anything. Like a steel book is nice because it's a cool steel book, but a slipcover is just like something over the case. It's valueless. Def Jam icon. I do enjoy the Def Jam games. I still need Fight for New York on PS2, but I do have it on the Xbox. The Blob 2, made by an Australian developer called Blue Tongue. Really fun. You use paint to defeat enemies. Dragon Age Origins, the Ultimate Edition. I got this for $4 at a computer exchange because they did not know that it was a special edition. They just processed it as the original one, but it has all of the DLC on a disc. Armored Core 5. Armored Core 4. Leisure Suit Larry. My wife's mother apparently really likes this game, so she says. But I don't. It's not very good. The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I remember in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the web-slinging physics is like really fun. They're good games, based on the movies. Another copy of Uncharted 2. Huh. Guess I'll be selling that. It's nice to go through these and find find doubles, because then you can sell them and buy more games. The Lego Movie. These Lego games used to be worth quite a bit, like 15 to 20 each, but I don't think they're worth much anymore. People have kind of grown out of Lego games. Lego Batman there. Still brand new. Port Royale 3. Actually, I don't know if it's the original seal, but it is a seal. I've not played it. It's a pirate game. They're all very similar. There are some weird ones in here that I just bought for the sake of having. Like, I may be paid $2 or $3 each for some of these. Le Tour de France 2012. I mean, it's a game where you ride a bicycle. There's not too many games like that out there. I don't know if I have all of the Sherlock Holmes games on the PS3. I think there are 2 of them. But here we have the Testament of Sherlock Holmes. I have that one. I think in this one, the AI is really creepy. Like, you'll turn around, and then you'll look back where you were, and like characters will just appear in front of you out of nowhere, like they teleport. Trinity's Souls of Zil something? I've never played this game. It looks okay. Probably very rare, probably not worth anything. Really fun game, Mayhem. Really like this one. Quiet You. This is a black and white, like a racing kind of demolition derby style game. It's really fun. I enjoy it. Transformers Devastation. This is based on the cartoon show, the original. It looks just like the cartoons, but in 3D. It's very short. Definitely check it out. It's on PS4 as well. Green Lantern. Not great. Oh, so my second copy of How to Train Your Dragon 2. I can sell that. Adventure Time, Finn and Jake Investigations. This one's pretty good. I don't remember exactly what this one's like. WRC, FIA World Rally Championship. Yeah, it's a game. Let's put that down there. Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit. It's another Dragon Ball Z game. Tomb Raider Game of the Year Edition. I was surprised that I didn't have this in my collection before I bought it. I had it on Xbox 360 back in the day. Really like this one. It's a lot of fun. Rebooted the franchise, if you will. Ben 10 Omniverse. All of the Ben 10 games are pretty much the same. They just beat 'em up. They're fun though. Marvel Superhero Squad: The Infinity Gauntlet. This one's fun too. It's just a beat 'em up. Couple of AFL games. AFL Live, AFL Live 2. They're some of the only Australian exclusive games out there, so just based upon that, they are pretty rare in the rest of the world. Heroes Over Europe, another flying shooty game from World War II. There's a lot of them. Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2. It's another Dragon Ball Z game. Monopoly Streets. This one's really rare for some reason. Usually video games sell pretty well, but that one didn't. SingStar Ultimate Party. You can use your smartphone to play this, and I think a lot of SingStar and Guitar Hero stuff is going up in price recently. So maybe that's one to grab and hold on to. WRC Fear World Rally 2. Fear 2, I think this is my second copy of this, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. How about that? 2 copies. Katamari Forever. This is one that I waited a long time before I bought. I think I paid like $30 for it, which was at the time a pretty good deal. I think it's a really good deal now. Might go for around double that now, I'm not sure. But the Katamari games are really fun. You play as a dude rolling around a ball and you just roll up objects that are similar to your size, but as you continue to roll up objects, your size gets bigger, which allows you to roll bigger objects. Red Dead Redemption Limited Edition, it's kind of cool. The only thing limited about it is this slipcase, which I just say I don't care about slipcases, but I bought this because it had a slipcase. I'm a hypocrite. Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year Edition, awesome set. I mean, there's no reason not to have this in your collection, just for Undead Nightmares. The Prince of Persia Trilogy, this is a printed cover art, but it looks pretty good on camera. This comes with Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and the Two Thrones. Dragon Ball Z, the Budokai HD Collection. I'm not sure why, but this only has the first and the third game. They left out the second one. Maybe they didn't have the code for it anymore. I don't know. Top Spin 3. 2K sports games are generally pretty fun, and this is no exception. Really good graphics from memory. Tonelico Quokka. Never played it. Shrek Forever After. I think there's a Shrek 3 video game as well. I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I want it. I have a Shrek game. What do you need 2 for? Damage Inc. Pacific Squadron World War II. It's another flyy shooting game from World War II. There's a lot of them. Toy Story 3. Really fun. It's like a town building game, but I really recommend it. I'm going to get down here. Marvel Ultimate Alliance as the first game. It's very similar to the second. Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel, another great game. They need to make more of these Army of Two games. They're falling. They're very fun. G.I. Jockey 4 2008. I think it was $1. I don't know. Birds of Steel. Is this another fighty shooty World War II game? Oh my god. The battlefields of World War II. Wow. I'm dropping everything now. Holy crap. This is no good. Birds of Steel. It's very rare. I don't know why. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and Advanced Warfighter 2. They're Tom Clancy games. Sims 3. I have the Sims 3's pets somewhere. My wife put it somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Australia. The Incredible Hulk, a really, really good game on the PlayStation 3. Open world, beat 'em up style. Really fun. Very fast paced. Batman Arkham Origins, probably the weakest game in the Arkham series, but it's still very good. I bought that brand new. There's a video on my channel where I go to a midnight release of it. I don't think midnight releases exist anymore. Yakuza 3 used to be worth an easy $50. Now I think it's like $30 because they re-released it on PS4. Test Drive Unlimited 2. Gran Turismo 5 Collector's Edition. Fight Night Champion, this is worth something for some reason. Surf's Up. Batman the Telltale series, pretty good. I wish there was more like combat. Kung Fu Panda 2. I think there's one more Kung Fu Panda game that's just like stupid rare. I don't remember if I have it or not. NCAA Football 09. It's in a really bad case. I can sit down, thank God. Thank the God. What the hell is this? Postcard. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. These aren't very good games, but they are interesting. They're just like straight up third-person shooters set in the Harry Potter universe. They're just very, they're different sort of games. Very different from other Harry Potter games. Sniper Ghost Warrior and Sniper Elite V2. I don't think these are made by the same people, but they're both sniper rifling games. Sniper rifle. Full Auto 2 Battle Lines. There's a bunch of these full auto games out there. Man, can you believe someone paid that price for this game back in the day? Utter insanity. No one would pay that price for this game anymore. No one would pay that price for a new game anymore. Dirt 3 Complete Edition. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which I believe is a double, so we shall put that on the doubles pile, and we shall move that postcard. Iron Man. I knew I had that one. Ace Combat Assault Horizon. People like the Ace Combat games. Might be a double. I'll have to check. Whew, finding a lot of doubles now. I swear I showed a copy of Eternal Sonata before. Space Hulk. I grabbed this game while I was in the UK. It's not expensive, but it is a UK exclusive, so it's very, very rare to find over here. You probably have never seen a copy of it on an Australian website. Pen 10 Galactic Racing. For some reason, everything gets a kart racing game. Hasbro Family Game Night Volume 3 and Volume 4. These are just fun, you know, it's fun to play board games every now and again, and I don't want to have bulky board games taking up room. I'd rather have this stuff taking up room. Godzilla, for some reason, this is worth like $80, or it was the last time I checked. It might be worth even more now. I think it's worth even more on PlayStation 4. I remember getting this for like $19 and thinking that was a bit high, but now it's worth crazy money. Very late release for the PS3 as well. Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning. This was worth like $15 once upon a time. Now it's worth nothing. Good game though, very different. I believe the studio that made it just went out of business after they made it, even though it was a good game and it sold well. Minecraft Story Mode. This is the one with all of like the YouTubers in it. It's weird. Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. Rayman Legends. Awesome game. I love the levels where you have to like play along with the melody. Biohazard Revelations Unveiled Edition. It's the Japanese copy of Resident Evil Revelations. Kung Fu Rider. I don't know if this one was released in the States, but you ride office chairs down a massive hill. Millennium Paintball 2009. Couple of times a year, I like to just put in a paintball game and play a few rounds. There's something very fun about paintball video games. Trust me, give it a go. Little Big Planet 2, the Extras Edition. Yeah, I bought this, so I have like 3 or 4 copies of Little Big Planet 2, but it's the Extras Edition. It's got extras. NCIS, based on the TV series. For some reason, you can use the move. London 2012 with Lisa Simpson giving someone a blowjob. Is it that hard to make a good logo for something? Like, what the fuck even is that logo? Come on. It doesn't even look like anything. Ico and the Shadow of the Colossus collection in HD on the PS3. Shadow of the Colossus, the best way to play it is probably on PS4 now, but there's something cool about having this as well. And I love the artwork for Ico. It's very, very nice. Ico is very good too. Planet 51, the video game. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. See, I told you I had that game. Two Worlds 2 Game of the Year edition. What makes it Game of the Year? I don't know. I don't know. Smurfs 2 for some reason. Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes. This is one that I had been looking for a long, long time. And it's a like hack and slash style game, but it's very fast paced. It's very fun. Need for Speed Carbon used to be worth a lot more. Still a good game. Tony Hawk's Project 8. I think this is the only Tony Hawk's game I have for the PS3. I actually don't know if there are any others on the system. Maybe that one where you needed the skateboard controller. Maybe. Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, the Ultimate Edition. It's not great on PS3. Like, you'd really have a better time playing that on PC. The Walking Dead Survival Instincts. And Battleship, based on the movie. Okay, the last bit here. I'm going to put this stuff to my side. My wife really needs to clean this room. I don't use this room for anything and she has left it in a mess. Alright, the final little section of shelf. Baja, Edge of Control. Hunter's Trophy, rare game. It's not great. It's a hunting game. I don't think you can use any kind of, I don't know, PlayStation Move optional, so it's a PlayStation Move game. See? There you go. Indiana Jones 2, Lego, whoa. There we go. Ratchet & Clank, The Quest for Booty. It's not great. It's a mini adventure. And go into it knowing it is a mini adventure. Dust. Final Fantasy X and X-2, the HD remaster. Man, there's a lot of dust. Shows you the last time I came in here. The HD remaster. I really like these games, although I do understand that they are just completely ridiculous. I mean, your dad becomes God, who is also a giant planet-devouring fish in Final Fantasy X. It's a stupid game. Pixar's WALL-E. I actually really like this game. Really, really like this game. It flows really well. Levels are very fun. It's not to be sold separately for some reason. It's good. Check it out. Spider-Man, Edge of Time. Not in the best condition. Has some, like, unfortunate label damage, but it is a copy of the game. I think the only Spider-Man game I need on the system is Web of Shadows. Yeah, you can see the... Yuck. But the game is there. Hey, there's the other Sherlock Holmes games. Crimes and Punishments, Sherlock Holmes. Transformers, War for Cybertron. Really good game. The, not prequel. The game that came before Fall of Cybertron, I guess. The predecessor. Really fun game. Fallen Angel Sacred 2. I paid like $5 for this. It's a Diablo style game. And it's falling. Another Need for Speed game, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I probably have all of the Need for Speed games and I didn't even realize I was getting all of them. That's why they're all in different spots. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Devil May Cry, the HD collection. This is a really good HD collection. Has the first 3 games on it. Unfortunately, better graphics did not make Devil May Cry a good game. But the other ones are really, really good. DuckTales Remastered, I love this game. I played all the way through this in just a couple of sittings. I made a review for it on my channel that nobody watched. I love this game. This is retro style gaming done right. Lollipop Chainsaw, another game that I really like. I don't remember if I made a review of it though. I may have made a just like mini review, maybe a my favorite game style video. But it's really good. Really good. I have this in a protective sleeve because it's the only video game I own that is signed by like a celebrity. I don't care at all for celebrity signatures, but I just saw this and I thought, okay. I think it was like $2. Walt Disney, Hannah Montana the movie, to Alice from Hannah. I have no reason to believe someone would fake a signature for Hannah Montana / Miley Cyrus, but there you go. Man, that woman went nuts. Pure. Good game. Is this the open world one? No, I don't think it is. There's a ATV game that's open world that's crazy good. Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. It's another Naruto game. Sorcery, really good game actually. Like, if you're gonna get a PlayStation Move for a couple of games, this should be one of the games you get. It's very fun. You create spells and stuff. Rocksmith 2014 edition. I don't have the Rocksmith pack because anytime I've gotten it, I've just immediately sold it. And now it's worth more than ever, so maybe I should have held on to it. I feel that way about a few things. Like, I've sold some stuff in the past and then seen how much it's worth now, and I go, man, why did I sell it? But then at the same time, it's like, well, if I don't want it and I'm not selling it, does it really have value? Like, if it's just sitting on my shelf, it's not worth anything because I have no plans to ever sell it. Dirt Showdown, another Dirt game. This one's like a stylized, cel-shaded graphics. Modern Warfare 2, this is the hardened edition. Comes in a steelbook, comes with generic collector's edition stuff. NBA Street Home Court, a lot of fun. Really like that one. There's a few sports games that I really like. This is a triple pack with MotoGP 3, SBK Generations, Street Bike something? I don't know. Well, Superbike. And Mud. It's crazy how the PS3 can put them all on one disc. Speaking of which, the Orange Box, featuring 5 games on one disc. Check that out. Although, I think three of the games on this are just Half-Life 2. Like, it's Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2. But you also have Portal and Team Fortress 2. I love Portal. Portal is a great game. MX vs ATV Untamed, and MX vs ATV Sticker Residue Alive. They exist. And I own them in my collection. Thor, the God of Thunder. Not a great game. Phineas and Ferb, Across the Second Dimension. I have 2 copies of this game. I have one on the PlayStation Vita as well. I'm not sure why it got a Vita release, but you can use the PlayStation Move with this game. World of Outlaws Sprint Cars. I believe this game is like incredibly rare or incredibly sought after. One of the two. Man, you guys not want to see my bloody wrist hairs. But yeah, it's supposed to be a okay game. Coming on the end of it here. Coming in hot. With Hitman HD Trilogy. I love Hitman. Hitman's a great series. I'm not the best at them, but I have struggled through most of them. We have Hitman 2, Hitman Contracts, and Hitman Blood Money on it. I don't know why the first Hitman game isn't on there either. Resident Evil Revelations, I have 2 copies of this game because I like it and because I have 2 copies of this game. Operation Flashpoint Red River. F1 2010. Lego Indiana Jones The Original Adventures. Battlefield 4 The Deluxe Edition, which has expansion packs. Expand, damn you. Expansion packs and steel books. I'll sort that out later. And finally, Winter Stars. I think I paid $1 for it. Alright. That is my PlayStation 3 collection. If I am missing any essential games that you guys think I should own, definitely let me know. Thank you to anyone who sat down and watched through all of this. I have no idea why you bothered. It took me a week to film. It'll probably take a week to upload. I'm sure it'll take someone watching this a week to watch it. But until that time, this is Seeger of my house bidding you farewell. Have a good one. Arrivederci. Ooh, I learnt a new one today. It's Zai Xian. Bye.